Hello, everyone, and welcome to the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Tonight, we're getting you ready for Game 3 of this rain-aided 4-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things sweeping the doubleheader with the Crushers last night, playing a continuation game from a May 22nd rainout, and then playing the regular scheduled game. We'll have recaps of both of those games coming up for you. Also, a sit-down with one of the newest Wild Things, Alvaro Gonzalez. Gonzalez talks about his debut with the Washington Wild Things last night, going 1 for 3 in that contest with his first RBI, also first double for the Wild Things, so he'll join us later on. Going to meet some of the newest Washington Wild Things. Lots of transactions here in these last couple of days, so a lot of guys to introduce you to on this Wild Things team. Also going to look up the lineups, and the first pitch is coming up here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. I'm Zach Ziegler. Now, as we said, the Washington Wild Things sweeping the doubleheader with the Lake Erie Crushers in last night's ball games. The first game of that doubleheader was actually a continuation of a rainout back from May the 22nd. Brandon Hinkle was the starter in that game for your Wild Things. Hinkle was no longer on the team, so Zach Groats took the mound to resume the action for him. And then the starter for the Lake Erie Crushers was Juan Caballero, with Caballero scheduled to pitch on Thursday here in this series. It would be Justin Sinibaldi taking the mound for the Lake Erie Crushers. So Zach Groats and Justin Sinibaldi, we resume things in the bottom of the third. Not a lot of offense here in this ball game as a pitcher's duel throughout. The only run of this game, in fact, coming in the bottom of the eighth for the Washington Wild Things. Austin Wobrock would ground out to start the inning. Then with one out, Jimmy Yezzo hit a line drive down the right field line, and he would get in with a triple. So one out and a runner at third for the Wild Things, and that would bring to the plate Dave Popkins. Popkins able to line the ball down the right field line for an RBI double. Jimmy Yezzo came in to score, and the Wild Things took a 1-0 lead. Next batter, Andrew Heck, would ground out, and Grant Fink flew out to end the inning. That would be the only run of this ball game, as the Wild Things got the 1-0 win. However, the story was the starting pitcher, Zach Groats. Groats went 6 shutout innings in this ball game, gave up just 4 hits, no walks, and struck out 7 in the contest. So Zach Groats, the story of the night last night in Game 1. The longest he's gone all season. His previous game high was 3 2/3 innings. That was in another rain continuation game in Florence when he did the same thing he did last night, but going 6 innings last night, not giving up a run. The opposing starter, Justin Sinibaldi, not half bad himself. He went 3, did not give up a run on 3 hits, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. Then Brad Duffy came in, and Duffy allowed that solo run. So the Wild Things took Game 1 by a score of 1-0. Then going into Game 2, the regularly scheduled ball game, the matchup would be Chase Cunningham coming off a 4-start losing streak, facing off against Stephen Hagan in the ball game. Scoring recap in that one for you. Wild Things got on the board first, as in the bottom of the first, Andrew Heck grounded out to start things, and Austin Wobrock struck out. Ricky Rodriguez would then double with 2 men out. It was a sky-aided double as left fielder Sean Hurley lost the ball in the sky. It ended up dropping in front of him, and Rodriguez was able to get to a double. Next batter, Dave Popkins. Same thing happened for him. He had a fly ball to center field, and Connor Oliver unable to locate the ball in the sky. It fell behind him, bounced towards the wall, and Ricky Rodriguez came in to score. That made the score 1-0 Wild Things. Jimmy Yezzo would ground out to end the inning. The Lake Erie Crushers would tie this game in the top of the third. Brian De La Rosa grounded out to start things. Then Max Casper would single. Rob Pollard would strike out, and with 2 outs, Chase Cunningham tried to pick off Max Casper at first. He had already gotten 1 pickoff in the game. At the top of the second, picked off Brendan Constantino. Could not get this second pickoff as the throw was wild, and Max Casper got to second on the play. Next batter, Sean Hurley. He laced an RBI double to left field. That scored Casper and made the score 1-1. Wild Things, however, would respond right back in the bottom half of the third. Austin Wobrock walked to lead things off before Ricky Rodriguez popped out. Dave Popkins would then strike out for the second out of the inning, and Jimmy Yezzo came through with a 2-run bomb. Yezzo's 10th home run of the year, tying him for the team lead in that category, and the Wild Things would take a 3-1 lead. Next batter, Kyle Pollock would walk. So would Justin Garcia. Garcia making his Wild Things debut. So there were runners at first and second with 2 men out before Alvaro Gonzalez got his first Wild Things RBI, a double into right center field. Kyle Pollock came in to score, and the Wild Things took a 4-1 lead. Ryan Willard would then strike out to end the inning. Chase Cunningham, after that third inning, settled down on the night, threw scoreless fourth and fifth inning, started the top of the sixth as he walked Jose Barraza to lead things, and that would be it for Chase Cunningham. Andrew Wick would come in to relieve him. Wick struck out Eric Grabe and Richard Siegel for the first 2 outs in the inning, but then gave up an RBI single to Brendan Constantino. Barraza came around to score after stealing his third base of the year. That made the score 4-2 Washington Wild Things. Next batter, Brian De La Rosa, would walk, so there'd be runners at first and third for the Lake Erie Crushers with 2 outs, and then Andrew Wick tried to pick him off at first base, and his throw went wild. That allowed Brendan Constantino to come in to score. That made the score 4-3, and then Wick got Max Casper to ground out to end the inning. The final line for Chase Cunningham. Cunningham went 5 innings of work, giving up 2 runs, both earned on 3 hits, 5 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Devin Davis came in for the save in the top of the 7th. He got Rob Pollard to ground out to start things. Then Sean Hurley struck out before Connor Oliver singled. There was a runner at first with 2 men out. Then Jose Barraza would strike out looking to end the game. Davis, a scoreless inning of work, giving up just 1 hit. Andrew Wick gave up 1 run in the game. It was not earned on 1 hit, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts for Andrew Wick. The final line for the Lake Erie starter, Stephen Hagan. Hagan went 4, gave up 4 runs, all earned on 8 hits, 4 walks, and 5 strikeouts for Stephen Hagan. Manny Arciniega also came in for the Lake Erie Crushers and pitched 2 scoreless innings of his own. In those 2 scoreless innings, he did not give up a hit and struck out 3. Getting ready for Game 3 of this 4-game series. Got some storm clouds here over Consol Energy Park as the umpires and the 2 managers are convening right now talking about the weather conditions. So we'll see if we get started on time. But right now, we are scheduled to start on time. We'll see how things go. We're going to take our first break here on the MSA Sports Network. When we come back, we're going to have our sit-down with Alvaro Gonzalez talking about his professional debut and his first RBI and extra base hit for the Washington Wild Things. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show, all a part of MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network. You're listening to the Washington Wild Things pregame show, currently joined by one of the newest Wild Things infielder, Alvaro Gonzalez. And Alvaro, yesterday you made your Wild Things debut. What were your first impressions coming to Consol Energy Park and seeing the crowd last night?
Well, this is a very nice park, very nice atmosphere. I was happy to step out there. It's exciting to play in front of these fans, and hopefully we can end the season on a good note.
And you got your first Wild Things hit and RBI last night with that RBI double out to right center field. Can you tell me a little bit about what you were looking for on that pitch and then your emotions when you had the ball hit off the bat?
Well, I was just looking for a fastball, and I got it. I drove it to right center. It bounced over the fence. If it wouldn't, it probably would have been another RBI, but it gave us the 4th RBI to help us win the game 4-3.
And coming here for the Washington Wild Things, your first dip into professional baseball, you played college ball at the University of New Mexico Highlands. Can you talk about a little bit the transition between college ball to professional ball now here with the Wild Things?
Just the atmosphere, also preparing yourself for the game, having to show up at a certain time for stretch and BP. It's just a different atmosphere, and I really like it.
Currently joined by infielder Alvaro Gonzalez. And Alvaro, you also made a very nice defensive play last night at third base, running back into foul territory, making that diving catch. Can you kind of talk about what was going through your mind as you're running back on that ball?
Well, I just saw a white dot in the air. I was just hopefully I get it, and especially that was my very first play as a professional player. And once I made it, it definitely got the jitters out of my system.
And finally, your first game last night. What did you see from these Lake Erie Crushers that's going to help you as you advance farther into the season with the Wild Things?
One thing I saw is that you see a lot more fastballs here, especially in New Mexico. It was more off-speed and curveballs, and here tend to come at you.
Thank you, Alvaro. Good luck today.
All right, thank you.
We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently some lightning in the background and rain falling down here on this artificial turf field at Consol Energy Park. So we are in a delayed start, waiting for these storm clouds to pass over. Very dark clouds off to the left side of the stadium, but as we move along to the right side, we have clear skies, so we're going to wait this one out, and hopefully this storm passes sooner rather than later. So in a little bit of a delay here to start this ball game, just more time for the Washington Wild Things pregame show. Now we got some new faces on the Washington Wild Things team today, as we saw last night. You just heard from Alvaro Gonzalez, made his professional baseball debut. He played for the New Mexico Highlands University, where he hit .337 with 13 home runs and 42 RBIs in his time. He's an infielder by trade, so you'll see him mostly around the infield for the Washington Wild Things. He was signed before yesterday's game. Also a new face on the team, Justin Garcia. Garcia also made his debut for the Wild Things in Game 2 of last night's doubleheader. Garcia in that one ended up going 0 for 2 with a walk. He also struck out and flew out in the ballgame. Garcia, an outfielder by trade, will join the Wild Things outfield for this late part of the season. So you saw Justin Garcia last night. One other new face, the starter for tonight's game, Matt Snyder. Snyder was signed right before the series with River City. Snyder making his first start with the Wild Things tonight. His first outing with the Wild Things didn't go quite as he planned. When an inning of work, gave up 3 runs. 2 of those runs were earned, and they all came in on a 3-run home run. So Matt Snyder's ERA is very inflated here to start the year. He's 18.00 ERA coming into tonight, but that does not tell the whole story with Matt Snyder. Snyder pitched for the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks earlier in this season, went 1-3 with a 6.04 ERA in 12 games. 4 games started. He struck out 41 and 2/3 of an inning and walked 33, allowing 42 hits. So he does get his strikeouts, 41 and 41 innings, just about 1 strikeout per inning, but also gives up his hits, as we see the 42 hits compared to 41 and 2/3 innings of work. His opponent on the mound tonight is right-hander Mike Devine for the Lake Erie Crushers. Devine has a long history facing your Washington Wild Things, has 12 total appearances against the Washington Wild Things, but the Wild Things have handled him in his career in this Frontier League. In his career, in those 12 appearances, he has a record of 1-2 with a 4.50 ERA. Wild Things will look to hand him another loss here tonight. So those are the new faces here on the Washington Wild Things. The players released by the Wild Things, Zach Fish and Sam Agnew-Whelan, they unfortunately had to leave the Wild Things. Agnew-Whelan had a record of 2-3 with an ERA above 5 before his release, and Zach Fish had only played in 2 games for the team, collecting just 1 hit, hitting .077 on the season. As we said, we're currently in a lightning delay here at Consol Energy Park. Lightning and storm clouds surrounding Consol Energy Park. A little bit of rain falling, but lightning is the big problem we're waiting for right now. However, the storm clouds look to be moving out rather quickly, so we are going to delay the start of this ball game, and we'll get going as soon as we can. You're listening to an extended Washington Wild Things pregame show here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School, lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. You're listening to an extended Washington Wild Things pregame show, currently in a delay here at Consol Energy Park, waiting for a lightning storm to pass over the park so we can start play here in this one. Just saw a streak of lightning out there in center field, so we're going to continue to wait. No time yet for the start of this ball game, so a little delayed here tonight. While we have some time here on the Wild Things pregame show, we're going to take a look at the standings here, both in the Frontier League East and West. Your Wild Things members of the Frontier League East standings. The Joliet Slammers have been leading this division, and they've been leading it for over a month now. Their record sits at 40-33. Your Washington Wild Things, by the way, of sweeping the doubleheader last night, have jumped into second place. Their record sits at 34-37, 5 games back of the Joliet Slammers, and the Windy City Thunderbolts are in third. They are 34-39, currently sit 6 games back of those Joliet Slammers. The Schaumburg Boomers sit at 33-41. They're 7.5 games back. The Lake Erie Crushers, 32-41. They're in 5th place in the Eastern Division standings. They're 8 back. The Crushers and the Boomers have really been leapfrogging each other, 4th and 5th spots here in this division. It's been a battle between those two teams all year long. Right now, Lake Erie in 5th, Schaumburg in 4th, and the division rounded out by the Traverse City Beach Bums. They sit at 31-41. Over in the Western Division, the Wild Things done playing the Western Division here in this season. Southern Illinois leads things. Their record sits at 49-24. Then the Evansville Otters are at second. Their record 41-29. They're 6.5 games back. Then the Normal Corn Belters sit at third, only 4 games over 500. They're 38-34, 10 games back of the Southern Illinois Miners. The 4th place team, Gateway Grizzlies, sit at 500, 37-37. Then the River City Rascals, who your Wild Things just saw, a record of 34-37. They're 14 back. And the Florence Freedom sit at 31-41. They round out that division. They are 17.5 games back of the Southern Illinois Miners. Looking at the playoff picture here in the Frontier League, it's really anyone's game up to this point. The Southern Illinois Miners and Joliet Slammers hold the top spots as they are both the division leaders. Then in the wild card race, the Evansville Otters currently hold the number 3 seed, their record of 41-29, and the Normal Corn Belters hold that second wild card spot, their record 38-34. Now, how the playoffs work here in the Frontier League is you have the top 2 division winners making number 1 and number 2 seeds, and then the next 2 teams with the best records regardless of division. So you could have 2 teams from the West, 2 teams from the East making that last wild card spot. It's really up for grabs at this point. Anybody could make it. And then when the playoffs start, the number 1 seed plays the number 4 seed, and the number 2 seed plays the number 3 seed, with the highest seed hosting games 1, 3, and 5 in a best-of-5 series. And the championship series is also a best-of-5 with the highest seed coming out hosting games 1, 3, and 5. So your Wild Things trying to hunt back into this Frontier League playoff race. Currently, behind those top 4 spots, you have the Gateway Grizzlies sitting 2 back. Then the River City Rascals 3.5. Also the Washington Wild Things 3.5. They're tied for that sixth place position here in the Frontier League. Then the Windy City Thunderbolts sit 4.5 back with their record of 34-39. Schaumburg and Lake Erie, or Schaumburg 6 back, Lake Erie 6.5 back. Then you have the Florence Freedom 7 back and Traverse City 7 back. So really anybody's game here in this Frontier League wild card race. 7 games back is the farthest deficit by any team. If a team can put some wins together and get some help, they have a real chance at making a run. Your Wild Things still vary in this playoff picture. 3.5 back, tied for 6th in total in the Frontier League with the River City Rascals. Going to take another break here on the MSA Sports Network, waiting out this lightning delay here at Consol Energy Park. We'll be back with more Washington Wild Things pregame show here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently waiting out a lightning delay here at Consol Energy Park that has delayed this game 3 of a 4-game series between your Washington Wild Things. Just got word from Wild Things staff. We're going to start at 7:35. So 7:35 first pitch here in this ball game as we wait for the Lightning to pass. It'll be Matt Snyder on the mound for your Washington Wild Things, facing off against Mike Devine for the Lake Erie Crushers. So once again, we will be starting at 7:35 here tonight as we wait for this lightning storm to pass. Now we have a special guest here in the house at Consol Energy Park. Former Washington Wild Thing Trevor Foss is back as the Lake County Captains have an off day today. Foss will be throwing out the honorary first pitch, was recognized before the ball game. In his career right now for the Lake County Captains, he has a record of 1-1 with a 4.50 ERA and 10 innings of work there. He's given up 5 earned runs on 12 hits, 1 walk, and 10 strikeouts on the year in those 2 starts. His first start for Lake County, a little rough as he went 4 innings. He gave up 5 earned runs on 8 hits, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts in that first outing. But last time out, he shined on the mound for Lake County, went 6 innings of work in that ball game. He gave up just 4 hits and struck out 4, picking up his first win in single A. Now, Trevor Foss has pitched in single A baseball before, pitched for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim organization from 2013 to 2015. In 2013, his first year, he compiled a record of 3-0 with a 4.131 ERA, 14 games, 6 starts. Then in 2014, combined went 6-6 between advanced single A and full single A with a 3.59 ERA. And in 2015, he played between single A ball and rookie ball and had a combined record of 4-2 with a 3.32 ERA. So not bad numbers in minor league baseball for Trevor Foss. So far this year, 1-1 with the 4.50 ERA. So Trevor Foss in the house, throwing out the first pitch for tonight's ball game. He was 8-3 with your Washington Wild Things, had a 2.50 ERA, was one complete game shy of the Frontier League record of 9 complete games set back in the 2000 season. The 26-year-old picked up by the Cleveland Indians late this season, has made 2 starts for the Lake County Captains, and so far so good there in his career in single-A ball. So Trevor Foss back out here for the Wild Things tonight to throw out the first pitch in this ball game. Waiting out this lightning delay, we do have word 7:35 p.m. first pitch here in Game 3 of this 4-game series between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. So we're just about 15 minutes away from first pitch here in this one. Matt Snyder will take on Mike Devine. Going to take another break. We'll be right back here with more of the Washington Wild Things pregame show on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Wearhouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Listening to an extended Washington Wild Things pregame show as we get you ready for Game 3 of this rain-aided 4-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. 7:35 is the first pitch scheduled time. However, there is rain falling right now on the field, so we'll see if that affects anything. Some of the Wild Things players are running for their clubhouse. Matt Snyder, however, still warming up in that Wild Things bullpen. So as of right now, still scheduled for a 7:35 p.m. first pitch between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Going to go over the lineups for tonight's game and that pitching matchup one more time for you. First, for the visiting Lake Erie Crushers, they enter this one with a record of 32-41, led by their manager, Cameron Roth. They'll lead off with their left fielder, Rob Poller, batting second at designated hitter, Sean Hurley, hitting third in center field, Connor Oliver. Batting fourth and catching, Jose Barraza. Hitting fifth at shortstop, Eric Gray. Batting sixth at first base, Richard Siegel. Batting seventh at third base, Brendan Constantino. Hitting eighth at second base, Max Casper. And batting ninth and playing in right field is Parker Norris. On the mound for the Lake Erie Crushers, Mike Devine, a record of 7-5 with a 4.44 ERA. So once again, for the Crushers, Poller, Hurley, Oliver, Barraza, Grabe, Siegel, Constantino, Casper, Norris, with Devine on the mound. For your Washington Wild Things, they enter this one with a record of 34-37, led by their manager, Greg Langben. They'll lead off with their left fielder, Andrew Heck. Batting second and playing in center field, Chris Grayson. Hitting third at third base, Ricky Rodriguez. Batting fourth and playing in right field, Dave Popkins. Batting fifth, designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Batting sixth and catching, Kyle Pollock. Hitting seventh and playing at first base, Logan Aksa. Batting eighth and playing at second base, Jamadrick Magruder. And batting ninth at shortstop is Austin Wobrock. On the mound for your Washington Wild Things, left-hander Matt Snyder. Snyder, no record on the year, and an 18.00 ERA. However, those numbers don't tell the whole tale on Matt Snyder's only pitched one game this season for the Washington Wild Things. That was back on August 6th against the River City Rascals, where he won an inning and gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned. Well, the big blow coming on a 3-run home run allowed in that inning for Matt Snyder. In that game, the Wild Things would end up losing that game by a score of 9-2, as Brian O'Keefe started that game. Did not pitch very well. Matt Snyder came in 1 inning of relief and allowed that 3-run homer. So Snyder looking to redeem himself tonight here at Consol Energy Park. Snyder had pitched in the American Association earlier in the year. Pitched for the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks, where he had a record of 1-3 with a 6.04 ERA. In 41 2/3 innings of work. Struck out 41, walked 33, gave up 42 hits in his career with Fargo Moorhead. So we'll see if Matt Snyder can turn things around for your Washington Wild Things tonight. Opposing him on the mound for the Lake Erie Crushers, Mike Devine. Devine enters this game with a record of 7-5, has 3 saves on the year, an ERA of 4.44. He's appearing in his 29th game, making his 9th start. Has a long history against your Washington Wild Things, 12 career appearances against the Wild Things. He's thrown 75 innings of work, giving up 41 runs, 37 earned on 80 hits, 63 strikeouts, and 16 walks for Mike Devine. Devine's been around the Frontier League as well. He's been in the Frontier League since 2012. He broke in with the Traverse City Beach Bums, where he had no record in 5 games, a 2.84 ERA. And then in 2013, he was once again with the Traverse City Beach Bums. Had a very good year there, 6-2 with a 3.94 ERA, 19 games, 15 starts for the Traverse City Beach Bums that year. Then in 2014, his 3rd year with the Traverse City Beach Bums, played 5 games for him that year, made all 5 starts, went 1-3 with a 3.72 ERA before he was released and picked up by the Normal Corn Belchers that same year. For the Corn Belchers, went 2-2 with a 6.98 ERA in 10 games, 10 starts. This is his first year with the Lake Erie Crushers. So far, 7-5 in 28 games, made 8 starts so far in the year with a 4.44 ERA in those 75 innings. He has 63 strikeouts and 16 walks, so very good in the walk department. Has very good control so far on the season. But what really kills Mike Devine is the number of hits he gives up. He's given up 80 hits in 75 innings of work. We'll see if the Wild Things can take advantage of that here today at Consol Energy Park. Still in that lightning delay we talked about. 7:35 is the scheduled first pitch between these two teams. However, we do have some rain falling, but we're going to go with 7:35 still, as Matt Snyder coming in from the Washington Wild Things bullpen. We're going to take a brother break here on the Washington Wild Things pregame show. We'll be back with more coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Still waiting out this lightning delay here at Consol Energy Park. However, we are scheduled to resume play at 7:35 p.m. So the game first pitch will be thrown at 7:35 between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Umpires emerging from the Lake Erie Crushers dugout, getting ready for the pregame festivities. Now, between these two teams, the Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers, it has been all Washington Wild Things this season. The Wild Things have a record of 6-1 facing up against these Lake Erie Crushers. Their only loss to the Crushers was in their first matchup of the year back on opening day here at Consol Energy Park. It was a 13-inning game where Tyler Garko would pick up the loss. Garko pitched the 12th and the 13th. The Wild Things came back to tie that game several times on the day. Tied the game at 4, also tied the game at 5, before the Lake Erie Crushers ended up winning the game by a score of 9-7. Then after that, it's been all Washington Wild Things. They would split that 2-game series with the Lake Erie Crushers. The third game rained out in that series and was played yesterday as the first game of a doubleheader. Then the Wild Things traveled to Avon, Ohio, June 10th through the 12th, where they ended up sweeping the Lake Erie Crushers in Avon, Ohio. Took all 3 games there and won them all pretty handedly. They played their first 2 games with their regular starting lineup that had a lot of their backups in for Game 3, and they pretty handily took care of the Lake Erie Crushers there. Then last night, sweeping the doubleheader here, winning the rain continuation game in Game 1 by a score of 1-0, and then winning 4-3 in last night's ball game. It seems like when the Wild Things have faced off against the Lake Erie Crushers this year, they've just had their number in general. It seems like they hit every pitch that's thrown there by Lake Erie, and they've really had a lot of success, and it's bode well for the Washington Wild Things. And if they can come in and take care of business against Lake Erie here in Consol Energy Park, that'll set them up in a very good position for the rest of the season. They currently sit 3 games out of 500. If you take at least 3 of these 4 games with Lake Erie, your record improves to 35-38 coming out on the road, where you've played very well, and you take on Windy City, who's been on a downslide lately. Wild Things took 2 out of 3 last time Windy City came to Consol Energy Park. Windy City took 2 out of 3 in the first series, and then you face the Traverse City Beach Bums, who are tied for the worst record here in the Frontier League. You take care of business there, and then you're back home for a 10-game road trip. So it's going to be a fun end of the season for your Washington Wild Things. Lineup cards have just been exchanged at home plate, and we are almost ready for baseball here in Game 3 of this 4-game series. About a half-hour delay due to lightning. 7:35 first pitch between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Matt Snyder on the mound for the Wild Things. He is opposing Mike Devine for the Lake Erie Crushers. Now, Devine, we talked about it, has a history with the Washington Wild Things, has 12 career appearances against the Wild Things. 2 of those are starts, 10 of those relief outings, and in those 12 appearances, he has a record of 1-2 against your Wild Things with a 4.50 ERA, 2 starts, 10 relief. For Matt Snyder, pitching in only his second game for the Washington Wild Things. His first time out, gave up 3 runs, 2 of those earned in his outing with the River City Rascals. So Matt Snyder looking to turn things around tonight for your Washington Wild Things and give them a quality start. Yesterday, Zach Rhodes helped out a lot in Game 1, throwing 6 innings in that contest of shutout baseball in Game 1 between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. And Chase Cunningham going into the 6th inning in Game 2 brought Devin Davis and Andrew Wick off the mound to help relieve him in that ball game. Wild Things are being introduced on the field. Going to have the national anthem playing here shortly. So we're going to take one more break, and when we come back, we're going to have the first pitch here in Game 3 of this 4-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. We'll be right back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, ready for baseball here tonight in Game 3 of this 4-game series. About a half-hour delay due to lightning in the area, but that lightning has since subsided, and we are ready for baseball. Game 3 of this 4-game series. Your Washington Wild Things currently on the field. They align defensively like this in the outfield left to right. Andrew Heck, Chris Grayson, and Dave Popkins. Left side of the infield held down by Ricky Rodriguez and Austin Wobrock. Right side by Jamadrick Magruder and Logan Uxa. Behind the plate is Kyle Pollock. Catching tonight's starter, Matt Snyder. Snyder making his first start for the Washington Wild Things. So far in the year, one appearance for the Wild Things. He has no record on the year, an 18.00 ERA in his one game, has not made a start, making his first start tonight. Has thrown an inning of work, giving up 3 runs, 2 of those earned on 3 hits, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout on the day for Matt Snyder. So Snyder trying to turn things around here in his Wild Things career. The lineup he'll face for the Lake Erie Crushers looks like this. They'll lead off with their left fielder, Rob Poller. Batting second, the designated hitter, Sean Hurley. Hitting third in center field, Connor Oliver. Batting fourth and catching, Jose Barraza. Batting fifth at shortstop, Eric Gray. Batting sixth at first base, Richard Siegel. In the 7th spot at third base, Brendan Constantino. Batting eighth at second base, Max Casper. And batting ninth in right field is Parker Norris. On the mound for the Lake Erie Crushers, Mike Devine. Devine a record of 7-5 and a 4.44 ERA. Matt Snyder going through his warm-up tosses on the field. Still a little bit of light rain falling here at Consol Energy Park, but going to play through the raindrops here on this artificial turf stadium. Wild Things have taken the first 2 games of this series, taking game 1 of the doubleheader last night, a continuation game of a rainout back from May 22nd. They won that one by a score of 1-0. Dave Popkins driving in the only run in that game with an RBI double. He was the offensive star of the game. And then in Game 2, Wild Things took that one by a score of 4-3. The big blow in that one coming via the Jimmy Yezzo 2-run home run. Yezzo's 10th home run of the year. Wild Things will look to get a series win here in Game 3 of this 4-game series between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Matt Snyder has concluded his warm-up tosses on the mound, and we are ready for baseball. Game 3 of this 4-game series here from cloudy Consol Energy Park. It's cloudy, it's hot, a little bit of rain falling, but we are ready for baseball. Stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the first is the left fielder, Rob Poller. Poller so far in the year is hitting .318 with no home runs and 2 RBIs. A half-hour wait for the start of this game, but we are underway from Consol Energy Park. Matt Snyder taking the mound for the Washington Wild Things, trying to turn it around from his first appearance with the team out in River City. 72nd game of the year for your Washington Wild Things. They have a record of 34-37. Snyder has his sign. Here's the pitch, and the first pitch is low and outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. First pitch tonight thrown officially at 7:34 p.m. Eastern Time, and the temperature outside 90 degrees. First pitch time and temperature brought to you by State Line Grocery and Hotspot. The 1-0, and that one gets up to the letters. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Rob Poller. For Matt Snyder, pitched for the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks, had 41 strikeouts in 41 2/3 innings, so good numbers there. The 1-1, and that one's outside for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 the count for Matt Snyder. Really the key to this game right now is getting out of the first inning. You're making your first start here for the Wild Things. Get those first start jitters out of the way and get through a clean first inning. Has his sign. Here's the 2-1, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 the count here on the leadoff man, Rob Poller. Nobody out top of the first, just underway here in Game 3 of this 4-game series. Snyder's 3-1 offering, and that one's in there for a strike. Count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 here on Rob Poller out there in left field. Saw him in right field in both games of the doubleheader last night. Lefty Matt Snyder on the mound. Snyder has his sign. He's set, and the 3-2 pitch. And this ball popped up over foul territory off towards the right. Logan Uxa giving chase, and Uxa will make the catch, and that is out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Lake Erie Crushers here in the first, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Sean Hurley. Hurley so far on the year for the Crushers is hitting .230 with 4 home runs and 15 RBIs. So Matt Snyder gets that first out here in the top of the first. Big first out for him here in his first start of the season. One of 3 lefties on this Wild Things roster, himself, Brian O'Keefe, and Devin Davis. Snyder has his sign, the pitch, and this one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Sean Hurley. 1 man out top of the first after that pop out to start things in the inning. Snyder has his sign, the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And that one's inside as Hurley jumping out of the way of that one. Count goes to 2-0. For Matt Snyder, a little wild here early on in his outing. With Fargo, Moorhead had 33 walks in those 41 2/3 innings. So walks have been a little bit of a problem for him in his professional career. See if he can settle down here tonight. The 2-0, and that one's taken for a strike on the inside corner. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on Sean Hurley. Hurley was out in left field in both games of the doubleheader last night, and there is a designated hitter here tonight. Snyder's 2-1 offering, and this one swung on a miss. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 1 man out. Snyder struck out 1 man in his first appearance in that 1 inning of work. Also walked a man in that outing against River City. Snyder has his sign. He's set, and the 2-2 pitch. And that one's inside as Hurley jumping out of the way of that one. Count now goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Second full count of the day here for Matt Snyder, is having to throw a lot of pitches here early on. Connor Oliver, the on-deck man for the Crushers. Snyder going through the signs, has one he likes. He's set, and the 3-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. Snyder strikes out Sean Hurley. First 2 men retired here in the top of the first. There are 2 men out, and that brings to the plate the center fielder, Connor Oliver. Oliver so far for the Lake Erie Crushers, hitting .277 with 11 home runs and 30 RBIs. No score here at Consol Energy Park. Just underway. Game 3 of this 4-game series between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Top of the first, 2 men out as Matt Snyder retires the first 2 men he's faced. Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Oliver takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Lake Erie Crushers center fielder. Coaching on the bases for the Lake Erie Crushers, at third base, manager Cameron Roth, and at first base is the bullpen coach, Chad Quiles. Snyder's 1-0 offering, and a swing and a foul ball here by Connor Oliver, hitting it off to the right towards the backstop, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Matt Snyder making his first start for the Wild Things. His last start for the Fargo Moorhead Redhawks came on July 29th at Joplin. Went 6 innings in that one, but gave 8 runs on 11 hits and struck out 8 in his 8 innings of work. Matt Snyder looks in, going through the signs, has one, the 1-1, and that one's inside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Also walked 2 men in those 6 innings of work. 2-1 the count here on Connor Oliver. 2 men out top of the first. Matt Snyder trying to get through this first inning here at Consol Energy Park. Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 2-1 offering. And that one's outside for a ball. Count now goes to 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 here on Connor Oliver. Matt Snyder has been behind all 3 batters he's faced here in this game. Has managed to get the first 2 outs rather painlessly, however. Snyder looks in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 3-ball, 1-strike offering. And that one's a called strike on the outside corner. Connor Oliver thought he had ball 4, but he'll step back in there. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Jose Barraza, the catcher, is on deck for the Lake Erie Crushers. 2 men out top of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Game 3 of this rain-aided 4-game series. Matt Snyder looks in, has his sign. Here's the 3-ball, 2-strike pitch. And that one's a called strike 3. Connor Oliver strikes out, and the inning is over. 1-2-3 go the Lake Erie Crushers here in the first. After half an inning of play, the score, the Lake Erie Crushers nothing, your Washington Wild Things coming to bat. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the first, and the score, the Lake Erie Crushers nothing, and your Washington Wild Things coming to bat. The Lake Erie Crushers take the field like this, outfield left to right. Rob Pollard, Connor Oliver, and Parker Norris. Left side of the infield held down by Brendan Constantino and Eric Grabe. Right side held down by Max Casper and Richard Siegel. Behind the plate, Jose Barraza. Catching tonight's starter, Mike Devine. Devine enters this one with a record of 7-5, 3 saves on the year, a 4.44 ERA, appearing in his 29th game, making his 9th start, throwing 75 innings of work, giving up 41 runs, 37 earned on 80 hits, 16 walks, and 63 strikeouts on the year for righty Mike Devine. The lineup he'll face for your Washington Wild Things looks like this. They'll lead off with their left fielder, Andrew Hecht, batting second and playing in center field. Chris Grayson hitting third at third base, Ricky Rodriguez. Batting fourth, right fielder Dave Popkins. Hitting fifth, designated hitter Jimmy Yezzo. Batting sixth and catching, Kyle Pollock. Batting seventh and playing at first base, Logan Uxa. Batting eighth at second base, Jamadrick Magruder. And batting ninth and playing at shortstop is Austin Wobrock. On the mound for your Wild Things, as you saw, left-hander Matt Snyder. Snyder a record of 0-0 with an 18.00 ERA. Mike Devine finishing up his warm-up tosses, ready for baseball here in the bottom of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Andrew Hecht making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the bottom of inning number 1. Andrew Hecht on the year for the Wild Things is currently hitting .253, no home runs, and 9 RBIs. Hecht back in that leadoff spot. He's been in that leadoff spot for 16 out of the last 15 ball games. One of those games he was hitting in the number 5 spot. That was game 1 of the doubleheader last night. So Andrew Hecht stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the first against Mike Devine and the Lake Erie Crushers. Devine taking the mound for the Crushers, looks into Barraza, has his sign, and the pitch on the way. And Hecht takes this first one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Andrew Hecht. Hecht batting from the right-handed side. The veteran on this Washington Wild Things team. Here's the 1-0. And Hecht takes this one for a strike of the letters. Count goes even at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike on the Wild Things left fielder. Hecht's really taking command of that left field spot recently. The 1-1, this one grounded to first. And it hops over Richard Siegel's glove into right field. So Andrew Hecht will be on for the leadoff man to go on for the Wild Things. We'll see if they give Siegel a hit or an error there. The ball took kind of a funny hop on him, bouncing to first base, and then ended up bouncing over Siegel's glove. He tried to make the recovery, but could not, as that one goes into right field. It will be an error on Richard Siegel, so an E3 allows Andrew Hecht to reach. Runner at first, nobody out, and that brings to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far in the year hitting .274, 2 home runs, and 11 RBIs. So the leadoff man reaches base for the Wild Things, not courtesy of a hit as Andrew Hecht over there. Hecht takes his lead from first. Devine has his sign, checks Hecht, and the pitch on the way. And Grayson hits this one over to left field. Rob Pollard giving chase. This one's hooking, and he'll make the catch in foul territory. Nice run over there by Rob Pollard. Had to cover a lot of ground going back into the corner here in left field past the foul pole, and he makes the catch in foul territory for out number 1. So one man out for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the first, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far on the year hitting .300 with 5 home runs and 24 RBIs. One man out here in the bottom of the first. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Righty Mike Devine facing off against the right-handed batter Ricky Rodriguez. Andrew Heck taking his lead from first. Devine has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And Rodriguez takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things third baseman. Rodriguez was the designated hitter in both games of last night's doubleheader, as he took over for Scott Carcasey in the rainout as a DH, and then DH'd in Game 2 as well. The 1-0, and that one's in there for a strike. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Ricky Rodriguez. Alvaro Gonzalez made his Wild Things debut at third base a night ago. Mike Devine looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. And Rodriguez takes this one on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Andrew Heck doing what we've seen a lot this season. He'll start going for second and then realize he doesn't have enough time, so he'll stop and put the brakes on at first. Has 5 stolen bases on the year. Devine has his sign. He's set in the 1-2 offering. And this one lined towards left center field, and that one will get down. Andrew Heck around second. Now he'll put on the brakes and goes for third now. As the throw comes into second, Andrew Heck makes it in there at third. So a 1-out single by Ricky Rodriguez, and there are runners at first and third for your Wild Things with 1 man out. And that brings to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far in the year hitting .297, 10 home runs, and 38 RBIs. Runners at first and third for Dave Popkins. Popkins leads the Wild Things in both the home run and RBI categories, tied for the lead in terms of home runs with Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo hitting his 10th bomb in last night's game. Andrew Heck the runner at third, and Ricky Rodriguez the runner at first with 1 man out here in the bottom of the first. Devine has his sign, the pitch, and Popkins takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things cleanup man, batting from the left side, the switch hitter against the right-hander Mike Devine. Devine looks into Barraza, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And Popkins fouls this one off back to the screen. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Andrew Heck started this inning reaching base on an error by first baseman Richard Siegel, and then Ricky Rodriguez with 1 out would single to put these runners at first and third. Mike Devine going through the signs with Barraza, has one he likes, he's set, checks the runner at third, and the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And Popkins fouls this one back to the screen as well. Count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. 1 man out, bottom of the first. That one caroming back into the field of play. Andrew Heck fielding that one and throwing it back into the ball boy on the sidelines. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out for Ricky Rodriguez at first base. Rodriguez has 2 stolen bases here in 2016. Devine looks into Jose Barraza going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Popkins hits this one down the left field line. Rob Pollard giving chase, but this one will hook and go foul, so the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Popkins giving that one a ride. Didn't exactly have enough to get out of here, but still hit very deep there by Popkins, fouling off that pitch and staying alive against Mike Devine. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 man out. The infield playing back here for Lake Erie, besides Richard Siegel holding Ricky Rodriguez on at first. Devine has his sign, he's set, checks Heck at third, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And a pop-up here by Popkins. This one on the infield. Coming in as third baseman Brendan Constantino. He'll call everyone off, and he'll make the catch, and that's out number 2. Second out of the inning here for the Washington Wild Things. Still those runners at first and third with 2 men out, and that brings to the plate the designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far in the year hitting .222, 10 home runs, and 31 RBIs. Those 10 home runs, as we said, tied for the team lead with Dave Popkins. So still those runners at first and third and 2 outs for the Wild Things. No score between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Mike Devine looks in, has his sign, checks the runner at third, and the pitch on the way. And Yezzo takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Jimmy Yezzo. 2 men out, bottom of the first. Yezzo just trying to come through here with 2 men out and get the Wild Things on the board. Devine has his sign. He's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. That one's outside for a ball as well. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0, 2 men out. No runs on a hit for the Wild Things here in this inning. Andrew Heck reached on an error to start things, and then Ricky Rodriguez singled with 1 man out. Devine has his sign. He's set, and the 2-0 offering. And Yezzo takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Jimmy Yezzo saw time at first base in both games of yesterday's doubleheader. Logan Uxa getting the day off as Ricky Rodriguez was the DH in both games as well. Devine has his sign, checks first, and the 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. And Yezzo pops this one up to the left side. Constantino giving chase, but he'll watch this one go back to the seats foul, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on the Wild Things designated hitter. Mike Devine trying to get through this first inning. Has a 4.50 ERA in his career against your Washington Wild Things in 12 appearances. 2 of those appearances were starts, both of those for the Traverse City Beach Bums in the 2012 season. Devine has his sign, the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. And another foul ball there by Jimmy Yezzo. So staying alive here against Mike Devine, making him work with 2 men out. Andrew Heck, the runner at third. Ricky Rodriguez standing over at first for your Wild Things. And for the Wild Things, Matt Snyder making his first start today. You'd love to get him an early run here in this ball game so he can go out pitching with a lead here in the second inning. Mike Devine looks in. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count on Jimmy Yezzo. 2 men out. Devine going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, checks Andrew Heck at third, and the 2-2 pitch. And another foul ball there by Yezzo. This one laced past the Lake Erie dugout, and the count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 here on Jimmy Yezzo, hitting .222 on the year. In the beginning of the season was really struggling at the plate, hit .136 in the first 2 weeks of the season, but has brought that average up and has been hovering in between .210 and .230 all year long. Devine has his sign. He's set, the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch, and a swing and a miss. Jimmy Yezzo strikes out, and that will end the inning. No runs in the inning for your Wild Things on 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. After 1 inning of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the Lake Erie Crushers nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the second, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the Lake Erie Crushers nothing. Matt Snyder back out there for his second inning of work. Last inning retired the Lake Erie Crushers 1-2-3, got Rob Pollard to pop out to start things, then Sean Hurley struck out swinging, and Connor Oliver struck out looking to end the inning. Due up here in the second, Jose Barraza, Eric Grave, and Richard Siegel, 4, 5, and 6, facing off against Matt Snyder in that first inning. Snyder had to throw a lot of pitches, went a full count to every batter in the inning, but retiring all 3 men he faced in the ballgame. We'll look for a much more efficient second inning here in this one. Next MSA Sports Network broadcast tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch, Game 4 of this rain-aided 4-game series between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Matt Frauden taking the hill for your Wild Things. He will be opposed, by Juan Caballero for the Lake Erie Crushers. Stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the second, catcher Jose Barraza. Barraza so far on the year is hitting .264 with 6 home runs and 38 RBIs. Nobody out here in the top of the second. Matt Snyder looking for another 1-2-3 inning here in this second inning, but hoping to do it a little more efficiently than he did in that first inning. Went full count the first 3 batters here in this ball game. Matt Snyder looking in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Barraza takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Lake Erie Crushers. Catcher played first base in both games last night of the doubleheader. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the 1-0 offering. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 here. Matt Snyder falling behind. The 4th man he's faced here in this ball game has fallen behind all 3 men so far in this one. Has his sign, he's set in the 2-0. And this ball popped up by Barraza, shallow left field. Austin Wobrock going out. Andrew Heck coming in. He'll call Wobrock off, and he'll make the catch. And that's out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Crushers here in the second inning, and that brings to the plate the shortstop, Eric Grabe. Grabe so far in the year hitting .256, 2 home runs, and 19 RBIs. One man out, top of the second. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Matt Snyder, so far so good through the first 4 batters here in this ball game. Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one's in there for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Eric Grabe. First man that Matt Snyder's gotten ahead of here in this ball game with one man out in the top of the second. Has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. And that one's outside for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. For Matt Snyder on the hill, comes from a 3/4 angle throwing off the mound. Not exactly a sidearm and not exactly throwing over the top. Has a very violent delivery. Has his sign, the 1-1 pitch. And that one's just low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on Eric Grabe, as we said, for the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks earlier in the year. Had 41 strikeouts in 41 2/3 innings of work, also compiling 33 walks in that season. Here's the 2-1 offering, and that one's inside for a ball. Count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-1 here on Eric Grabe. Grabe played shortstop in the first 2 games of this series in yesterday's doubleheader. Snyder has his sign. He's set in the 3-ball, 1 strike offering. And this ball hit down the left field line. Andrew Heck will give chase, but he'll watch this one go foul over the party pavilion. And the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2, 1 man out. On deck man for the Lake Erie Crushers is their first baseman, Richard Siegel. 1 man out here in the top of the second. 0-0 score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Lefty Matt Snyder facing off against the right-handed batter, Eric Grabe. Snyder has his sign, the 3-2 pitch, and Grabe fouls this one off at the plate over the Wild Things dugout, so the count will remain 3 balls and 2 strikes. Grabe fouling off the last 2 pitches, got one that he hammered to left field down the line, and that one going into foul territory, and then that last one just dribbled at the plate, as right now the home plate umpire coming out to talk to Matt Snyder. The Wild Things trainer, Jess Borgen, came out of the Wild Things dugout, but nothing wrong on that front as she'll go back into the dugout. Matt Snyder shaking his arm after that last pitch. Kyle Pollock going out to talk to him, trying to see what's wrong with him here in the top of the second, try to get him back going. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Pollock on the mound meeting with Snyder right now. Has retired the first 4 batters he faced in this ball game. Has 2 strikeouts through 1 1/3 innings of work. Trying to retire Eric Grabe here, the shortstop, in this top of the second inning. Has a 3-ball, 2 strike count on him. And that last pitch was just fouled off, tapped at the plate, and rolled towards the Wild Things dugout. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 man out. Grabe stepping back in here against Matt Snyder. The umpires for tonight's game behind home plate, Chuck Adaya, and on the bases is Mike Martin. Snyder has his sign. He's set, the 3-ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one is just low for a ball, ball 4. First base runner of the day for the Lake Erie Crushers. First walk for Matt Snyder. So there's a runner at first with 1 man out, and that'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Richard Siegel. Siegel so far on the year hitting .247 with 1 home run and 13 RBIs. Batting from the left side against the lefty Matt Snyder. First base runner Snyder's allowed on the day. His 2nd walk of the year for the Washington Wild Things, first here in this game. Matt Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock. The runner at first, Eric Grabe. Snyder going through his signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. Checks the first, throw over there, and getting back is Eric Grabe. For Grabe, in his Lake Erie Crushers career, currently has 2 stolen bases in 46 games for the team this season. So has the ability to go, but not really a threat right here. Snyder has his sign. Here's the pitch, and that one's in there for a strike in the knees. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Richard Siegel. Lefty on lefty matchup. The second lefty that Snyder's faced in this game, the first lefty was Connor Oliver. Connor Oliver struck out to end that first inning. Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the no-ball, 1 strike pitch. Check the first, here it comes. And that one swung on and missed, got Siegel to chase one in the dirt there, and the count goes to 0-2. Pollock jumping on that pitch rather quickly, not allowing Eric Grabe to move up. 1 man out, top of the second. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers here in Game 3 of this 4-game series. From Consol Energy Park, got a little bit over halfway full here at Consol Energy Park on this Wednesday night. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 offering. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Richard Siegel. 1 man out. Matt Snyder trying to get him to chase a slider. Chased a curveball with 1 strike. Tried to see if he could get him to go outside of the zone again. Snyder looking into Pollock. Going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. And that one's in the dirt. Pollock smothering that one, blocking it, and keeping Eric Grabe right where he is at first base. 2-2 now the count here on Richard Siegel. One man out top of the second. Matt Snyder a little wild here early on. Those last two pitches used breaking balls to try to get Siegel to go out of the zone. Siegel did not oblige. 2 balls, 2 strikes, one man out. Runner at first is Eric Grabe. Grabe walked with one man out. First baseman on the day for the Crushers. Snyder has his sign, the 2-2, and this ball slowly hit towards the mound. Snyder will knock it down, has no play at second, so he'll throw on to first and gets the shore out there for out number 2. 1-3 on the put out there, and now 2 outs. Eric Gray moves up to second on the play, and that brings in the third baseman, Brendan Constantino. Constantino on the year, hitting .237 with 1 home run and 19 RBIs. 2 men out top of the second. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers here in this ball game. Brendan Constantino batting from the right side against the lefty, Matt Snyder. Snyder looking in, going through his signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner, Grabe at second, and the pitch on the way. And that one's in there, or outside, or inside, for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Brendan Constantino. Has been the third baseman in all 3 games so far here in this series. Matt Snyder looks into Kyle Pollock, has sign he likes, he's set, checks second, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And that one's high for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Despite his success here through the first 1 2/3 innings of this ball game, he has had to throw a lot of pitches. Has gone a full count to 3 out of the first 5 batters he's faced. Went 2-2 to Richard Siegel, including a battle. He'll have to be more efficient if he wants to succeed later in the ball game. Snyder's 2-0 offering, and this ball lined up the middle, and that's a base hit. Chris Grayson will field it. Eric Grabe's going to be sent to the plate. Here's the throw from Grayson. It's a strong one, and Grabe will go back to third. So it's the first hit of the day for the Lake Erie Crushers. A single by Brendan Constantino, and there's runners at first and third with 2 men out now. A strong throw by Chris Grayson, holding up Eric Grabe at third base. So save a run for the Wild Things, and that'll bring in the second baseman, Max Casper. Casper so far on the year, hitting .225, no home runs, and 19 RBIs. Very strong throw there by Grayson. That one won't be in the stat sheet at the end of the game. However, Grayson saving a run there for the Washington Wild Things, holding Grabe at third base. Matt Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock now with runners at first and third and 2 men out. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one's in there for a strike at the knees. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 here on Max Casper. Matt Snyder would love to get another strikeout here in the top of the second to try to finish this inning. Runners are at first and third with 2 men out. Snyder going through his signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. Throw over to first, and getting back is Brendan Constantino. For Constantino on the year, currently has 8 stolen bases in 59 games. That's tied for the team lead, tied with Connor Oliver in that category. Matt Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the no ball, 1 strike pitch. And that one's outside. Pitch out there, nothing going on. They thought Constantino might be taking off. 1-1 the count here on Matt Snyder. Runners at first and third for the Lake Erie Crushers. First 2 men on base for the Crushers today as they collected their first hit with 2 outs. That Brendan Constantino single. Matt Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Casper. The count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Max Casper. Matt Snyder looking for his 3rd strikeout of the game. Has 2 strikeouts already, striking out Sean Hurley swinging, and Connor Oliver looking their first times up. Snyder looks in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. And this one lined foul back into the seats and right, so the count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 2 men out here at Consol Energy Park. Clouds still over the ballpark, but we're starting to see some blue skies here tonight. Had a little bit of a drizzle early in this game, actually delayed a half hour due to lightning in the area around the stadium. Had to wait for that to pass. And then once that passed, we got started at 7:30. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the 1-2 offering. And a ground ball towards the middle. Jamadrick Magruder will handle it. He'll go to the short way to second, and that will end the inning. Fielder's choice 4 unassisted, and that ends the inning. No runs for the Lake Erie Crushers on 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 1.5, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Lake Erie Crushers nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the second, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the Lake Erie Crushers nothing. Last inning for your Washington Wild Things, Andrew Heck got things started against Mike Devine. He reached on an error as the bouncing ball to first base. Richard Siegel could not handle it as it bounced over his glove. That was the first base runner of the ball game. Then Chris Grayson would fly out to left field, and Ricky Rodriguez came through with a single. There'd be runners at first and third for the Wild Things with one man out before Dave Popkins popped out and Jimmy Yezzo struck out to end the inning. To up here in the second, Kyle Pollock, Logan Uxa, and Jamadrick Magruder, 6, 7, and 8, facing off against Mike Devine. Game 4 of this rain-aided 4-game series tomorrow night, 7:05 first pitch, wraps up the homestand between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. And tomorrow night is 8-1-1 night at Consol Energy Park. All reserve seat tickets are just $8.11, courtesy of our good friends at Columbia Gas. For tickets for tomorrow night's ball game, go to www.washingtonwildthings.com or call the box office at 866-456-WILD. Stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the second is the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far on the year hitting .243 with 2 home runs and 10 RBIs. Pollock caught both games of the doubleheader yesterday and in there again behind the plate today in Game 3 of this 4-game series. Mike Devine in the first inning got into some trouble but was able to get out of it as he allowed runners at first and third with 1 out before retiring the side. Pollock breaks his back, grounds this one to Constantino, throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things. The barrel of the bat there for Kyle Pollock flew into the stands here at Consol Energy Park. The lucky fan is going to get that barrel of the bat. He is okay out there as security went to check on him. He's all right, gets the bat. Nice souvenir for that fan. Kyle Pollock out, and that's out number 1. That'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Logan Uxa. Uxa so far on the year hitting .255 with 6 home runs and 21 RBIs. 1 man out here for 1 pitch, 1 out for Mike Devine in the second inning. And Logan Uxa to the plate. Righty on lefty matchup here. Logan Uxa getting yesterday off as Jimmy Yezzo played first and Ricky Rodriguez was the DH. Devine has his sign, the pitch, and Uxa takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things first baseman. 1 man out in this bottom of the second. Here's the 0-1, and that one's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. The only loss for the Wild Things against the Lake Erie Crushers this season came in their first meeting of the year on opening day when the Wild Things lost in 13 innings. The 1-1, and that one swung on a miss by Uxa, and the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, Mike Devine, a good start to this second inning. Got Kyle Pollock to ground out on the first pitch. Here's the 1-2, and Uxa fouls this one back into the seats. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Uxa is currently, third on the team with 6 home runs. Jimmy Yezzo and Dave Popkins tied for first with 10, and Grant Fink in second with 7. Here's the 1-2 from Mike Devine, and this one grounded to the right side, handled by Casper over there at second. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the second, and that brings to the plate the second baseman, Jamadrick Magruder. Magruder so far on the year is hitting .183 with 1 home run and 5 RBIs. 2 men out, bottom of the second. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers here in this one. Mike Devine towing the rubber has gotten 2 up, 2 down here in this second inning. Looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Magruder pops this one up over towards first base. Richard Siegel coming in on it, and he'll camp under it in the infield. He'll make the catch, and that is out number 3. 1, 2, 3 go your Wild Things here in the second, and after 2 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, Lake Erie Crushers nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whip Pill playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the third, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the Lake Erie Crushers nothing. Last inning for the Lake Erie Crushers, Jose Barraza flew out to start things, then Eric Grabe would walk, Richard Siegel grounded out, and Brendan Constantino singled. There'd be runners at first and third. A strong throw by Chris Grayson holding Eric Grabe at third base before Max Casper would ground out to second to end the inning. Due up here in the third, Parker Norris, Rob Poller, and Sean Hurley, 9, 1, and 2, facing off against Matt Snyder. Now, Snyder's last time out was against River City on August the 6th in a relief appearance. Went one inning in that game, gave up 3 runs, 2 of those earned on 3 hits, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. The big blow in that inning came via a 3-run home run that put River City ahead 9-2 in that ball game. His last start, however, came on July 29th against the Joplin Blasters for the Fargo-Moorhead Red Hawks. Won 6 innings in that game, gave up 8 runs, all earned on 11 hits, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts in that one. Parker Norris stepping in to lead things off here in the top of the third inning. Norris so far in the year hitting .219, a homer, and 20 RBIs. Did not play in the doubleheader yesterday. Matt Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Norris takes this one for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Lake Erie Crushers right fielder. Top of the third, no score between your Wild Things and the Crushers. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. And this one lined towards right field. Dave Popkins giving chase, and that one will fall in there for a base hit. Leadoff single for Parker Norris. First time the leadoff man has reached here in this game for the Lake Erie Crushers. Runner at first, nobody out, and that brings up the left fielder, Rob Poller. Poller so far on the day 0 for 1. Popped out in his first at-bat, and in Game 2 of last night's doubleheader, Poller ended up going 0 for 2. Struck out, grounded out, and walked twice in the contest. Nobody out top of the third. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Game 3 of this 4-game series. Matt Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock. Snyder going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set. Checks that runner at first. And the pitch on the way. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Rob Poller. Lefty on lefty matchup. Matt Snyder, the third left-hander on this roster for your Washington Wild Things, joining Brian O'Keefe and Devin Davis as the lone lefties. Snyder has his sign. He's set in the 1-0 offering. And this ball hit towards center field. Chris Grayson drifting over now towards left center. He'll make the catch, and that's good for out number 1. Going back to first is Parker Norris, so there's still a runner at first and 1 man out. And that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Sean Hurley. Hurley so far 0 for 1 with a strikeout. In Game 2 of that doubleheader went 1 for 4 with an RBI double, also struck out twice and popped out in the ball game. 1 man out here in the top of the third. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Matt Snyder looking in, has his sign, he's set, checks the runner at first, and the pitch on the way. Throw over to first, and getting back over there is Parker Norris. Norris did not play yesterday. On the year for Norris, has 6 stolen bases in 53 games. That's good for second on this Lake Erie Crushers team. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And this ball swung on a miss by Sean Hurley. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on the Lake Erie DH. Snyder 2 strikeouts today through 2 1/3 innings of work here in his first start for the Washington Wild Things. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the no ball 1 strike pitch. And that one's in the dirt, blocked by Kyle Pollock. He'll look the runner back to first, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Not many strikeout pitchers here on this Wild Things team, aside from Zach Groats and Devin Davis. Matt Snyder, one of those strikeout pitchers. The Wild Things signing him from the Fargo-Moorhead Red Hawks. So far, 2 1/3 innings of work. Snyder has his sign, the 1-1, and this ball popped up. Foul territory off to the right. Uxa and Pollock giving chase. Uxa will call Pollock off and makes the catch in front of the Wild Things dugout. That's good for out number 2. So after that leadoff single, Snyder retires the next 2 batters he faces, and that brings up the center fielder, Connor Oliver. Oliver so far 0 for 1, struck out looking in his first at-bat, and in Game 2 of that doubleheader last night, ended up going 1 for 4, popped out in the first, popped out in the third, struck out in inning number 5, and singled in inning number 7. 2 men out here in the top of the third. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Connor Oliver batting from the left side against the left-hander Matt Snyder. Snyder looks into Kyle Pollock going through the signs. Snyder has one he likes. He's set. Checks the runner at first. And the pitch on the way. And that one's on the outside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Connor Oliver. 2 men out, top of the third. Chuck Adaya calling that one on the outside part of the plate. Same umpiring crew we've had for the first 2 games. Just flip-flopped from Game 2 of last night's doubleheader. Snyder has his sign. He's set. The no ball, 1-strike pitch. That one's outside in the dirt. Kyle Pollock able to block that one, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Parker Norris started this inning with a single. He's still over there at first with 2 men out after a fly out and a pop out earlier in this inning. Matt Snyder looking into Connor Oliver, Kyle Pollock going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. And that one's low and outside for a ball, so Snyder falling behind Connor Oliver now. 2 balls and a strike. Snyder threw a lot of pitches in that first inning of work, went full count to each of the first 3 batters he faced in this ball game. A little more efficient last inning, only 1 full count, and so far this inning has been very good, getting 2 2-pitch at-bats and a 3-pitch at-bat. Snyder has his sign, the 2-1, and that one's a called strike on the outside corner. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 2 men out, no runs on 1 hit for your Wild Things, no runs, 2 hits, and 2 errors for the Lake Erie Crushers early on. Snyder looking in, going through the signs with Kyle Pollock. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this one grounded to the left side. Ricky Rodriguez, a diving try, and it's into left field for a base hit. 2-out single here for Connor Oliver. There'll be runners at first and second now with 2 outs for the Lake Erie Crushers, and that'll bring to the plate the catcher, Jose Barraza. Barraza so far in the day 0 for 1, and in last night's game 2 of the doubleheader, ended up going 0 for 3 with a walk in the ball game. Also struck out, flew out, and grounded out in that game. Stole his 3rd base of the year as well. 2 men out, top of the third. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Lake Erie has runners at first and second, however, with 2 men out. Matt Snyder looking into his catcher, Pollock. Snyder going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And a check swing there by Barraza. He went around, says home plate umpire Chuck Adaya, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Jose Barraza. Barraza the cleanup man for the Lake Erie Crushers. No balls, 1 strike, 2 men out. Matt Snyder, the lefty on lefty matchup here. Snyder looking in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 0-1 offering. And Barraza takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, 2 men out. Barraza, the primary catcher for the Lake Erie Crushers. Brian De La Rosa played last night. Barraza getting a lot of time at first base, however, so De La Rosa has been playing a lot as well behind the plate. Matt Snyder steps off as he wants to go through the signs once more with his catcher, Kyle Pollock. Snyder looking in to Barraza, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. And way inside there, count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Barraza having to turn out of the way of that one as Snyder falling behind. Kyle Pollock going out to talk to Matt Snyder. A little bit of a cross up there as Pollock was set up on the outside corner of the plate. Had to reach back in to catch that baseball on the inside part of the plate. Luckily a breaking ball from Matt Snyder, so Pollock had time to recover and get that one. 2 balls, 1 strike. The meeting on the mound has concluded, and Jose Barraza stepping back in against Matt Snyder. The runner at second, Parker Norris, he led off this inning with a single, and the runner at first, Connor Oliver. Oliver with 2 outs, delivered a single of his own. 2 balls and a strike. 2 men out. Matt Snyder looking in. Snyder has his sign. He's set, and the 2-1 offering to Barraza. Check the second. Here it comes. And that one's a called strike on the outside corner. Count goes even at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Top of the third, Matt Snyder trying to get through another scoreless inning here at Consol Energy Park. Snyder looks into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Holds at the belt. Checks the runner at second. And the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one's in the dirt, so the count will go full to Jose Barraza. 3 balls and 2 strikes. The first full count for Matt Snyder since 1 out in the top of the second. On deck man Eric Grabe if Barraza should reach base. Matt Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock. Lefty on lefty matchup here. Snyder to Jose Barraza. Snyder has his sign. He's set. And the 3 ball, 2 strike pitch. and a swing and a ground ball to the right side. This one will go into foul territory, and both those runners will have to go back to their bases as Connor Oliver and Parker Norris each took off on that 3-ball, 2-strike count. 3-2, 2 men out. Matt Snyder looking to get through this top of the third inning rather cleanly. Has done so far so good in this ball game, giving up 3 hits through 2 2/3 innings of work. Snyder, a guy who's going to give up his hits, but just got to work out of it. Gave up 80 hits. Or excuse me, not 80 hits. That was Mike Devine. Snyder for Fargo Moorhead, 42 hits in 41 2/3 innings of work. Snyder has his sign. He set the 3-ball, 2-strike offering. And this one fouled off as well, so Jose Barraza fouling off the last 2 pitches. And once again, Parker Norris and Connor Oliver having to go back to their bases. Going to get a workout here with 3-2 and 2 men out as you got to go so you get that head start on the pitch. But with 3-2, 2 outs, you have the risk of having to go back to your base several times. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Matt Snyder looks into Kyle Pollock, going through his signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Holds at the belt, checks Parker Norris at second, and the 3-2 pitch. And this ball fouled off by Barraza as well. 3 straight foul balls after getting to this full count from Jose Barraza. And Matt Snyder going to have to try something else to get him out here. Snyder does have 1 walk on the day. Walked Eric Grabe back in the second inning after going full count on him. That was the last full count for him. In the first inning, got full counts on all 3 batters. Got Rob Pollard to pop out and struck out Sean Hurley and Connor Oliver. So Snyder looking in, trying to strike out Barraza here with 2 men out, or get him out any way he can. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the 3-ball, 2-strike pitch. And Barraza once again fouls this one off, so a battle brewing here between Matt Snyder and Jose Barraza. Snyder working the outside part of the plate here against the lefty Barraza, trying to get him to go the other way with it if he does make contact. So still 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 men out here in this top of the third inning. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Matt Snyder trying to retire Jose Barraza. Snyder looking in, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. And the 3-ball, 2-strike offering. And this ball lined to left field. Andrew Heck coming in, and he will make the catch. And that's good for out number 3. No runs in the inning for the Crushers on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 2.5, the score. Your Washington Wild Things nothing, Lake Erie Crushers nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the third, and the score, your Washington Wild Things nothing, and the Lake Erie Crushers nothing. Last inning for your Wild Things, they would go 1-2-3. Kyle Pollock grounded out, Logan Uxa grounded out, and Jamadrick McGrew would pop out to end the inning. Due up here in the third, Austin Wobrock, Andrew Heck, and Chris Grayson, 9, 1, and 2 for the Washington Wild Things. Mike Devine going back out on the mound for the Lake Erie Crushers. Devine 7-5 with a 4.44 ERA coming into this ball game. Also has 3 saves on the season. Has 12 appearances against the Washington Wild Things. His last time out, however, against the Southern Illinois Miners, not a very good start at all for Mike Devine. Went 5 2/3 innings of work, and that one gave up 11 runs, all earned on 13 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts in a loss. Fell to 7-5, and those 11 runs not doing anything good for his ERA. So Devine, so far here in this one, through 2 innings of work, has just given up 1 hit. That hit was the single by Ricky Rodriguez back in inning number 1. 9, 1, and 2 due up for the Wild Things here in this bottom of the third from Consol Energy Park. Game number 72 on the year for the Wild Things. Currently 3 games under 500 with a record of 34 and 37. Wild Things 3.5 out of the second wild card spot, trying to fight their way back into that picture here starting tonight. Austin Wobrock making his way to the plate now with nobody out in the bottom of the third. Wolbrock so far on the year, hitting .218 with 1 home run and 15 RBIs. Coming to the plate, lefty on righty matchup. Wolbrock back in his traditional number 9 spot. Batted second in both games of yesterday's doubleheader. Today back in his number 9 spot. Actually says he loves being down there in the number 9 spot. Likes to thrive down there, and that's where he got most of his RBIs a year ago. Devine's pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Austin Wolbrock. Nobody out. Bottom of the third. No score. Devine's 1-0 offering. And this one hit the left field. Going back on it is Pollard to the wall, and he'll make the running catch. And that's good for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for your Washington Wild Things as Wolbrock flies out. And that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in the day. No 0 for 1. Reached on an error his first time. And in game 2 of yesterday's doubleheader ended up going 0 for 4. Grounded out twice, struck out, and flew out in the ball game. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the third. Andrew Heck, the leadoff man, coming to the plate. Second time around the order for the Washington Wild Things. See if they can come through. Only got 1 hit the first time through against Devine. Here's the pitch, and Heck checks his swing and takes a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things left fielder. It started, as we said, 16 of the last 15 games out there in left field. The 0-1, and that one fouled off at the plate. Heck staying alive. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count. Took 2 pitches for Mike Devine to get the first out here in the bottom of the third. Coming into the third pitch of the at-bat here against Andrew Heck. Devine has his sign, the 0-2, and Heck lines this one into right field. Parker Norris giving a chase, and he's not going to get to it. Heck around first, heading to second, and he's going to be in there with a 1-out double. So the Wild Things have a runner in scoring position after that double by Andrew Heck, and that brings to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 0 for 1 in the ball game. Did not play in last night's second half of the doubleheader. Andrew Heck was in there at center field for him. Justin Garcia got the start in left. Garcia in his Wild Things debut ended up going 0 for 2 with a flyout walk and a strikeout in the ball game. So Grayson stepping in for Andrew Heck. That is double number 7 on the season here in 2016. 7 doubles, 3 triples for Heck on the year. Mike Devine looking into his catcher, Jose Barraza, has his sign. He's set, checks Heck, and the pitch on the way. Grayson takes this one at the letters for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things left fielder. For Grayson, his first day off as a Washington Wild Thing was in yesterday's game 2 of the doubleheader. Devine has his sign. He's set. The no ball, 1 strike pitch. Swing and a miss there by Grayson, and the count goes to 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out, bottom of the third. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers here at Consol Energy Park. Mike Devine looking in, has his sign. He's set, and the no ball, 2 strike pitch. And this one fouled off by Grayson back into the seat, so the count will remain no balls and 2 strikes. Grayson fouling off a tough pitch. That one just off the outside corner by Mike Devine. Grayson able to get a piece of it and stay alive here in this at-bat. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Devine looks in, going through the signs with his catcher, Jose Barraza. Now he'll step off as he wants to go through them one more time. Andrew Heck standing at second base. Second time that Heck's reached base here in this ball game. Reached base in the first via an error. Now Devine wants Barraza to come out and talk to him here in this one. This inning started off with a flyout by Austin Wolbrock. Then Andrew Heck lacing that one down the right field line. Parker Norris unable to get to it. And Heck winding up in there with his 7th double of this 2016 season. Chris Grayson to the plate. Was signed a week before the All-Star break. Came to the Wild Things from the Sioux Falls Canaries, where he hit .229 with 2 homers and 9 RBIs. Has been thriving in a center field spot for the Washington Wild Things. Grayson's .274 average is good for 3rd on the team behind Dave Popkins, who's hitting .297, and Ricky Rodriguez, who's hitting .300 on the year. Mike Devine looks in, has his sign. He's set, and the no ball, 2 strike offering. And that one's outside for a ball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. If you technically want to go by the numbers, Alvaro Gonzalez actually leads this team in average, hitting .333, but he has only played in 1 game for his Washington Wild Things, 1 for 3 in his career. Mike Devine has his sign, checks the runner at second, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And Grayson pops this one up, foul back into the seats, so the count will remain 1-2. 2 foul balls and a ball taken here by Chris Grayson, so battle brewing between these 2 pitchers. 2 players, 1 man out, bottom of the third. Wild Things trying to crack the scoreboard. Currently 0-0 between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Chris Grayson stepping back in. Lefty on righty matchup. Heck takes his lead from second base. Mike Devine looking in. Devine going through the signs with Barraza. Has one he likes, he's set. And the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. And Grayson hits this one to right field. Parker Norris coming in. Going out is Max Casper. Norris doesn't see it, and he recovers and is able to make the catch. So Parker Norris losing it in the lights. We saw that twice last night. It resulted in base hits for the Wild Things, but Norris able to recover there. Max Casper, the second baseman, running all the way out there, telling him where that baseball was, and that's good for out number 2. That'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far 1 for 1 with a single here in this ball game. No score here between your Washington Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Game 3 of this 4-game series. 2 men out, bottom of the third. Wild Things trying to crack the scoreboard here early on. Mike Devine looking in, going through the signs with Barraza. Devine has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way to Rodriguez. And this one lined down the left field line. It's hooking, and will go foul off the Party Pavilion. Count goes to no balls and 1 strike. 0-1 the count here on Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez, if he can get that one fair, that easily brings Andrew Heck home from second base. Heck on second with a 1-out double, stranded there after the fly out by Chris Grayson. Mike Devine looking into Jose Barraza. Devine has his sign, he's set, and the no ball, 1-strike pitch. And this ball line foul down the right field line. This one hit deep as well, as that one will hit off the front office building here at Consol Energy Park, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, 2 men out here in the bottom of the third. No score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Game 3 of this 4-game series. Mike Devine, the righty on the mound, facing off against the right-hander Ricky Rodriguez. Devine looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the no ball, 2-strike pitch. Taking off for third is Heck, and that one's fouled off, so Ricky Rodriguez staying alive. Heck will have to go back to his base at second base. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 men out. No runs on 3 hits, 2 errors for the Crushers. No runs on 2 hits, and no errors for the Washington Wild Things. Mike Devine looking in. Devine going through his signs. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks Heck at second, and the 0-2 offering. And Rodriguez fouls this one back to the screen. So 3 straight foul balls here by Ricky Rodriguez. Has this count at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Wild Things trying to get a lead for their starter, Matt Snyder. Has been pretty good so far through 3 innings, just giving up the 3 hits, striking out 2 and walking 1 in the ball game. Mike Devine looking into his catcher, Barraza. Devine has his sign, he's set, and the 0-2 offering. And this one laced into right field. Parker Norris coming on. He's not going to make the catch. Heck rounding third, coming to the plate. Here's the throw, and it's not in time. RBI single by Ricky Rodriguez. That brings in the first run of the game for your Washington Wild Things. They lead it 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. Heck scores on the RBI single by Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez's 25th RBI of the year, and your Wild Things lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the third. That'll bring to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 0 for 1. Popped out in his first at-bat, and in Game 2 of that doubleheader, Popkins ended up going 1 for 3 with a double. So Ricky Rodriguez driving in the first run of the ball game for the Washington Wild Things. Dave Popkins to the plate. 2 men out here in the bottom of the third. 1-0 Wild Things lead this one. Dave Popkins batting from the left side against the righty Mike Devine. Popkins led the team in homers and RBIs last year, had 20 home runs and 46 RBIs. Devine has his sign, the pitch, and Popkins hits this one to left field. Rob Pollard back to the track, to the wall, and exit stage left. A 2-run blast for Dave Popkins, his 11th of the year, and your Washington Wild Things now lead this one 3-0. Popkins' 11th home run, and when you need an attorney to hit one out of the park for you, yo Keith. That home run brought to you by Keith Owen Campbell, attorney at law. Dave Popkins' 11th home run of the year keeps his lead in the home run category for the Washington Wild Things. They now lead 3-0, and Jimmy Yezzo coming to the plate. Dave Popkins crushing that one over the left field wall. Rob Pollard gave it a look, but knew right away he would have no chance at catching that baseball as it soars over the left field wall. RBIs number 39 and 40 for Popkins. Here's the pitch, and Yezzo ground ball to the right side. That's a base hit. 3 straight 2-out hits here off of Mike Devine have got 2 runs into the inning for the 3 runs into the inning for the Wild Things, They now lead 3-0 and have a runner at first with 2 men out, and Kyle Pollock coming to the plate. Pollock so far 0 for 1, grounded out in his first at-bat, and in Game 2 in last night's doubleheader went 1 for 1, a single and 2 walks on the night. Runner at first with 2 men out. That's Jimmy Yezzo over there after the 2-out single. Mike Devine looking in. Devine has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. That one's low for a ball. Barraza handling in the dirt. And the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things catcher. 3-0 Wild Things lead here in the bottom half of the third. All 3 runs coming here in this inning. Devine has his sign. He's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And this one popped up on the infield. Camping under, it's Eric Grabe, and he'll make the catch. That is out number 3, but not before the Wild Things get 3 runs in the inning on 4 hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 3 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Lake Erie Crushers nothing. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 4th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Lake Erie Crushers nothing. Last inning for the Lake Erie Crushers. Parker Norris singled to start things off, then Rob Pollard flew out. Sean Hurley popped up. Connor Oliver would single, and Jose Barraza would fly out to end the inning. Due up here in the 4th, Eric Grabe, Richard Siegel, and Brandon Constantino, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters against Matt Snyder. Snyder through 3 innings so far has been very good, just giving up 3 hits, no runs to this point in the ballgame. Matt Snyder's career, his professional career started this season when he pitched with the Fargo Moorhead Red Hawks. With those Red Hawks, had a record of 1-3 with a 6.04 ERA in 12 games, 4 starts. Gave up 42 hits, 32 runs, 28 earned on 41 strikeouts, and 33 walks in 41 2/3 innings of work. Now with the Wild Things, just 1 game before tonight, went 1 inning, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned on a big 3-run home run. So far, so good in his rebound outing here tonight against the Lake Erie Crushers. Hasn't allowed a run yet through 3 innings of work, facing the 6, 7, and 8 hitters here in the top of the 4th. 3-0 Wild Things lead, and Eric Grabe, the shortstop, will make his way to the plate to lead things off here in this top of the 4th inning. Grabe so far in this one, no official at-bat yet, as he walked his first at-bat. Grabe in yesterday's Game 2 of the doubleheader ended up going 1 for 3, flew out in the 2nd, singled in the 4th, and struck out in inning number 6. Nobody out top of the 4th. 3-0 Wild Things lead. Matt Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one's in there for a strike, no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Eric Grabe, batting from the right-handed side against the lefty Matt Snyder. Snyder looks in, has his sign, and the no-ball, 1-strike pitch. And that one's outside for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1, nobody out top of the 4th. 3 runs on 5 hits for your Wild Things. No runs on 3 hits and 2 errors for the Lake Erie Crushers. Matt Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-1 offering. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on Eric Grabe. Nobody out top of the 4th. Matt Snyder through 3 innings. So far, so good for the Wild Things. Snyder has his sign, he's set, the 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. And a check swing there by Grabe. Did he go around? No, says the field umpire Mike Martin. And the count now goes to 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 here on Eric Grabe. Matt Snyder trying to avoid walking his second man of the day. 1 walk and 2 strikeouts so far through 3+ innings of work. Snyder has his sign, the 3-1, and that one's inside ball 4. So a leadoff walk here in the top of the 4th. puts the leadoff man on for Lake Erie, and that'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Richard Siegel. Siegel so far 0 for 1, grounded out back to the mound his last time up. Second walk of the day for Matt Snyder. Both of those walks coming to the shortstop, Eric Grabe. Nobody out here at Consol Energy Park. Top of the fourth, a short 4-game homestand for your Washington Wild Things, 4 games in 3 days. Then we'll be on the road for a week as we go to Windy City for 3, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Off day Monday, and then we'll be in Traverse City Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to take on the Traverse City Beach Bums. Matt Snyder has his sign, and the pitch on the way. Siegel shows bunt, gets this one down. Matt Snyder comes off the mound. Magruder bare hands, and he won't have a play at first. So it's a bunt single for Richard Siegel. So the first 2 men here in the inning reach base for the Lake Erie Crushers. That brings Brendan Constantino to the plate. Constantino so far 1 for 1 with a single. And in yesterday's game 2 of the doubleheader, ended up going 1 for 2, singled, walked, and hit into a fielder's choice on the day. Perfect bunt there by Richard Siegel. Matt Snyder falling off to the right-hand side, or to the left-hand side of home plate, Had to come all the way back to try to field that ball. He couldn't. The only chance was Magruder on the bare hand, and Magruder had no play. Siegel reaching base easily. Runners at first and second for the Crushers. Nobody out. Snyder has his sign. Checks second and the pitch. And that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Brendan Constantino. Lefty Matt Snyder on the mound, facing off against the right-handed batter, Brendan Constantino. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Lake Erie threatening here in the top of the 4th. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and a 1 ball, no strike pitch. Constantino showing bunt. He gets this one down. Uxa's going to field. He'll tag the runner going by. So it's a sacrifice bunt for Brendan Constantino. Now 1 man out here in the top of the 4th. However, runners moving up to second and third. Eric Grabe at third and Richard Siegel over at second base. Now with 1 man out, that'll bring up the second baseman, Max Casper. Casper so far 0 for 1. Reached on a fielder's choice in his first at-bat. Casper in yesterday's game 2 of the doubleheader ended up going 1 for 3. Singled, he flew out and grounded out in the ball game. Matt Snyder looking in. Snyder has his sign. He's set. Checks the runner at third and the pitch on the way. And that one way outside, and it'll get by Kyle Pollock to the wall. A wild pitch there by Matt Snyder allows Eric Grabe to score, and that's the first one of the ball game for the Lake Erie Crushers. It's now 3-1 Washington Wild Things, and that one nowhere close to the plate by Matt Snyder. That was all the way outside of the left-handed batter's box. Right-handed batter Max Casper at the plate, and Kyle Pollock no chance to catch that one. First run coming in the game for the Lake Erie Crushers. It's now 3-1 Washington Wild Things. Crushers still have a runner at third with 1 man out. Richard Siegel moving up on that wild pitch as well. Kyle Pollock went out to meet with Matt Snyder. That meeting now over, and Pollock back behind the plate. 1 ball, no strike the count here on Max Casper, the second baseman for the Lake Erie Crushers. Snyder looks in, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1-0 offering. And Casper takes this one low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on the Lake Erie Crushers second baseman. Casper was out at second base for both games of the doubleheader in yesterday's contest. Wild Things winning both of those. First game by a score of 1-0. Second game by the score of 4-3. Snyder has his sign to 2-0. And a swing and a miss. Swing and a foul ball there by Max Casper, The count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 here on the right-handed hitting Casper. 1 man out in this top of the 4th. A run in on the wild pitch by Matt Snyder. 3-1 Wild Things lead currently in this ball game. Matt Snyder has been a little wild on the night, but is beginning out of jams when he's needed to. Currently has a 3-1 lead here in the top of the 4th, trying to keep it that way. You'd love for him to go at least 6 innings in this ball game and then turn it over to that very good Washington Wild Things bullpen. Matt Snyder looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2 ball, 1 strike pitch. And this ball hit towards right field. Dave Popkins coming in on it. He's going to make the catch. Tagging is Siegel at third. Here's the throw, and Popkins nails him at the plate. It's a fly-out, throw-out double play, and that will end the inning. Max Casper flies out, and Popkins fires to the plate in time for out number 3. Just 1 run in the inning for the Lake Erie Crushers on 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 3.5 to score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the Fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the fourth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. Wild Things getting all 3 runs in the game in the bottom of the third inning. It started out with a flyout by Austin Worbrock to left field. Andrew Heck would then double. Chris Grayson flew out before Ricky Rodriguez came through with an RBI single. Rodriguez's 25th RBI of the year. Andrew Heck came in to score, and the Wild Things took a 1-0 lead. Next batter was Dave Popkins, and he came through with a 2-run home run over the left field wall. It was his 11th home run of the year. Wild Things then would take a 3-0 lead after that home run. Then Jimmy Yezzo would single with 2 men out before Kyle Pollock popped out to end the inning. Due up here in the fourth, Logan Uxa, Jamadric Magruder, and Austin Worbrock against Mike Devine. Logan Uxa going to step in to lead things off here in this bottom of the fourth inning. Wild Things leading 3-1. Uxa so far in this ballgame 0 for 1 with a ground out in his first at-bat. Did not play in either game of the doubleheader yesterday as Jimmy Yezzo got time at first base and Ricky Rodriguez was in as the designated hitter. So Logan Uxa stepping in here against Mike Devine with nobody out in the bottom of the fourth, looking to expand upon this 3-1 lead for your Washington Wild Things. Devine has his sign, the pitch, and Uxa takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things first baseman. Mike Devine looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1-0 offering. That one's outside as well, and the count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on Logan Uxa. Nobody out, bottom of the fourth. 3-1 Wild Things lead. Devine has his sign, he's set, in the 2-0. And Uxa takes this one on the inside corner this time for a strike. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1, nobody out, bottom of the fourth. 3-1 Wild Things lead. Devine has his sign in the 2-1 offering. And that one's inside for a ball. Count now goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-1 the count. The Wild Things had the leadoff man on in the first inning, have not had the leadoff man reach since. So Uxa going to try to get on base here with nobody out in the bottom of the fourth. Devine's 3-1, and a swing and a miss there by Uxa, so the count goes full now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Jamadric Magruder stands on deck for the Washington Wild Things. Devine's 3-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss there by Uxa. He strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the fourth. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things. That'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Jamadric Magruder. Magruder so far 0 for 1. Popped out in inning number 2, and in the second game of the doubleheader yesterday, he did not play. Ryan Willard got the start at second base, and Willard ended up going 1 for 3 with a single in the contest. He also struck out and grounded out in the game. Devine has his sign, the pitch, and Magruder pops this one up. Foul territory off to the left. Brendan Constantino going over towards his dugout. He'll camp under it, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the fourth, and that brings to the plate the shortstop, Austin Worbrock. Worbrock so far 0 for 1 in this game. Flew out in his first at-bat. And in game 2 of that doubleheader yesterday, ended up going 1 for 3 with a double. Also walked, struck out, and popped out in the ball game. 2 men out, bottom of the fourth. 3-1 Wild Things lead over the Lake Erie Crushers. Righty on lefty matchup here as the right-hander Mike Devine facing off against the left-handed batter Austin Worbrock. Here's the pitch, and that one's in there for a strike at the letters. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things shortstop, hitting .218 coming into play today. Devine has his sign, the 0-1, and that one's in there as well. Count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. This one hitting that low inside corner. Worbrock now behind Devine, no balls and 2 strikes. Devine has his sign. Here's the 0-2 offering. And Worbrock just fouling that one away back to the screen. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. Worbrock going out of the zone for that little slider, but is able to get a piece of it and stays alive here against Mike Devine. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Devine looks in, has his sign, the 0-2 offering. And Worbrock lines this one into right center field. That'll get down for a base hit. 2-out single for Austin Worbrock. His first hit of the day. The throw comes in time to hold Worbrock to a 2-out single. So there's a runner at first for the Wild Things with 2 men out. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in this one, 1 for 2. Reached on an error his first time and doubled and scored a run in inning number 3. 2 men out here in the bottom of the fourth. 3-1 Wild Things lead. They do have that runner at first now with 2 men out. Wobrock on the year has 6 stolen bases. Currently good for second on the Wild Things team. Looking in is Mike Devine to his catcher. Devine has his sign. He's set. And the pitch on the way to Andrew Heck. And Heck takes this one on the inside corner for a strike. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 here on the Wild Things leadoff man. Heck from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Local guy to the Washington area. About an hour north of Washington is where Andrew Heck is from. Devine has his sign, the no-ball, 1-strike offering, and a half-hearted swing and a miss there by Heck at 1 in the dirt, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, 2 men out. After tomorrow night's game, Wild Things will take an overnight bus to Windy City near Chicago to take on the Windy City Thunderbolts for Game 1 of a 3-game series Friday night. That first pitch at 8:05. The 0-2, and this one grounded off to the left and foul. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. We'll play 3 in Windy City, and an off day Monday before we play 3 in Traverse City, Michigan. Then the Wild Things will come home for their last homestand of the regular season in 2016. It'll be a 10-game homestand where the Wild Things will play the Schaumburg Boomers, the Joliet Slammers, and the Traverse City Beach Bums. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and a swing and a miss there by Heck. He strikes out, and the inning is over. No runs in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 4 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 5th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. Last inning for the Lake Erie Crushers, Eric Grabe walked to lead things off. Then Richard Siegel would single, so there'd be runners at first and second with nobody out. Brendan Constantino hit a sacrifice bunt that moves runners up to second and third with 1 man out. Then a wild pitch allowed Eric Grabe to come in. That made the score 3-1 Washington Wild Things. Next batter, Max Casper, flew out to right field, and then Dave Popkins, a strong throw to the plate, able to cut down Richard Siegel to end the inning. Due up here in the 5th, Parker Norris, Rob Poller, and Sean Hurley, 9-1-2, facing off against Matt Snyder. The lefty has been very good today in his first start for the Wild Things, just allowing that 1 run. It was earned on 4 hits on the night. His defense has been playing very well behind him as well. So Snyder trying to throw a scoreless 5th inning here and qualify himself for a win in this ball game. Facing 9-1-2 in the order for the Lake Erie Crushers. Making his way to the plate to lead things off here in the top of the 5th is the right fielder Parker Norris. Norris so far on the day is 1-for-1, singled in his first at-bat in the top of inning number 3. So Parker Norris stepping in to face Matt Snyder. Norris did not play in either game of the doubleheader last night, as in right field was Sean Hurley. The pitch, and that one's outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Parker Norris. Top of the 5th, 3-1 Wild Things lead over the Lake Erie Crushers. Snyder has his sign. He's set, and the 1 ball, no strike offering. And that one's all called strike on the outside corner. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Snyder's hitting that outside part of the plate. He's been working away from every batter today, working on the left side of the plate for righties and the right side for lefties. The 1-1, and this one fouled back to the screen. Count going to 1 ball and 2 strikes. He's trying to get these Lake Erie Crushers batters to take the ball the other way. If they make contact, that could limit their power. Matt Snyder looks in, has his sign. He's set. The 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one going down and in as Parker Norris having to jump out of the way of that one, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 now, nobody out, top of the 5th, 3-1 Wild Things lead here over the Lake Erie Crushers. Lefty on lefty matchup, Matt Snyder facing off against Parker Norris. Matt Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock. Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. and that one's inside for a ball. Count now goes full to Parker Norris. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Rob Pollard, the on-deck man for the Lake Erie Crushers. Matt Snyder works from kind of a half wind-up, does have a wind-up motion. Well, immediately when he gets his sign, goes into the stretch before throwing the ball. The 3-2, and swing and a miss. Striking out is Parker Norris, and that's the first out here in the top of the 5th. Third strikeout of the night for Matt Snyder, and that'll bring to the plate the left fielder, Rob Pollard. Pollard so far 0 for 2, popped out in the first, flew out in the third in this ball game. 1 man out, back to the top of the lineup for the Lake Erie Crushers. Third time around the order for Lake Erie. They've only collected 4 hits off of Matt Snyder here in this ball game. Snyder's been a little wild, only walking 2 on the day, but has gotten out of jams when he's needed to and has made very good pitches when he has had to as well. Snyder's pitch on the way, and this one swung on a miss. Bat flies out of the hand of Rob Pollard, goes into the stands here at Consol Energy Park, as Rob Pollard going to see if he can get that bat back from the fans. No balls and a strike. That's been a problem here this year in the Frontier League. Lots of bats flying out of players' hands and going into the seating area. They're going to try to get that bat back from the fan over there, negotiating with him right now, as the fan doesn't want to give up Rob Pollard's bat. It's a game-used bat, and Pollard kindly asking for it back. And now he'll just coincide to the fan and go back to his dugout to get a new bat. So no balls and a strike. That one flying out of the hands of Rob Pollard at the plate, and it flies into the stands. A fan gets a souvenir. Now they're trying to get that bat back off the fan. Rob Pollard really wants that bat back, as he's walking over towards the Wild Things dugout, trying to get the bat back from the fan. They'll exchange the bat for a baseball from the Wild Things dugout, and Rob Pollard will now get his bat back. So nice exchange there. The fan gets a baseball instead of the bat, and Pollard going to step back in here against Matt Snyder. No balls and a strike, 1 man out. Excuse me, the left-handed hitting Rob Pollard loses his bat on that last play, and now he'll get some rosin to get on that handle, help him get a little better grip on that one. No balls, 1 strike, 1 man out. Matt Snyder on the mound, facing off against Rob Pollard. Pollard, the leadoff man for the Lake Erie Crushers, as Pollard stepping back in. No balls and 1 strike. Snyder ahead of him here in the top of the 5th. 1 man out. Snyder looks into Kyle Pollock, as Rob Pollard digging back in here. Snyder has his sign. He's set. And the no ball, 1 strike offering. And that one's just low for a ball. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Snyder trying to work lower in the zone today, as we've seen. Left a pitch up in his last outing, and it got hammered for a 3-run home run, so trying to avoid that here today. The 1 ball, 1 strike pitch, and that one's in there for a strike. This one hitting around the knees, and the count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 1 man out. Lefty Matt Snyder on the mound, facing off against Rob Pollard. Snyder has his sign. He's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 now. 1 man out here in this top of the 5th. Matt Snyder trying to retire the second man of this inning. Struck out Parker Norris to start the inning after going 3-2 on him early on. Snyder looks in, has his sign. He's set, and the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this one grounded towards shortstop. Austin Wolbrock will glove it. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for the Crushers here in the 5th, and that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Sean Hurley. Hurley so far on the day, 0 for 2. Struck out in the first and popped out in inning number 3. 2 men out here in this top of the 5th inning. 3-1. The Lake Erie Crushers are down to your Washington Wild Things. Matt Snyder looking in to the designated hitter, Hurley. Hurley was out in left field in yesterday's ball game. Snyder has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Hurley, a ground ball towards short. Wolbrock will handle it again. Has to throw a long throw to first. Picked in the dirt by Oxa. And that will end the inning. 1-2-3 go the Lake Erie Crushers here in the 5th. And after 4.5, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the fifth, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. Last inning for the Washington Wild Things, Logan Uxa struck out to start things, then Jamadrick Magruder popped out, Austin Warbrock singled, and Andrew Heck struck out to end the inning. Due up here in the fifth will be Chris Grayson, Ricky Rodriguez, and Dave Popkins, 2, 3, and 4, facing off against Mike Devine. Devine back out there for his fifth inning of work. Has given him 3 runs, all those runs earned on 6 hits. The big blow today for the Wild Things so far. The 2-run home run for Dave Popkins. Popkins' 11th home run of the year over the left field wall. Popkins taking over sole possession of the home run lead on this Washington Wild Things team with his home run in that third inning. All 3 runs for the Wild Things coming in that third inning as they'll look to add some more on here in this fifth inning. Tomorrow night, 8-1-1 night at Consol Energy Park. All reserved seat tickets are just $8.11, courtesy of our good friends at Columbia Gas. So call in www.washingtonwildthings.com online for tickets, or call in at 866-456-WILD for your chance to get Washington Wild Things tickets for just $8.11. Stepping in to lead things off here in the bottom of the fifth, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far in the game, 0 for 2, flew out in the first and flew out in inning number 3. Nobody out, bottom of the fifth, 3-1. Your Washington Wild Things lead over the Lake Erie Crushers. Chris Grayson, the lefty, facing off the righty against the righty Mike Devine. Devine started this game for the Lake Erie Crushers, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. That one's outside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. Want to know the count? Cameron Roth for the Lake Erie Crushers, new manager for the Crushers, as he was signed in the middle of June. Lets his pitchers go a lot more than the old manager did, as right now they're trying to shut off the music here at the ballpark, as home plate umpire Chuck Adaya jammed to that one, as well as Chris Grayson. Gets a little bit of laughs, and now they'll step back in, 1-0. Here's the pitch from Mike Devine, and Grayson takes that one for a strike on the outside corner. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Count even here on Chris Grayson, 1-1. Mike Devine looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Grayson takes that one outside now, and the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike here on the center fielder for the Washington Wild Things. Grayson getting his first night off as a Wild Thing last night in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Here's the 2 ball, 1 strike pitch, and Grayson fouls this one off towards the Lake Erie dugout, and the count now goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, nobody out. Chris Grayson, the leadoff man, here in the bottom of the fifth inning, trying to get on base so the Wild Things can add on. Devine looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2 ball, 2 strike offering. And Grayson fouling this one off back to the screen. The count remains 2-2. 2 straight foul balls here by Chris Grayson off of Mike Devine. Nobody out, bottom of the fifth. Wild Things trying to get their leadoff man on here in this inning. Matt Snyder's gone 5 innings for the Wild Things, giving up just 1 run. A very good start for him to this point. Mike Devine looks in, going through the signs. Now a step off as he wants to go through them once more with Jose Barraza. Mike Devine looking in, going through the signs again. And the 2 ball, 2 strike offering. And Grayson takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes full now to 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. Actually, the first full count on the day. Second full count on the day, for Mike Devine. He struck out Logan Uxa last time he got into a full count. Devine looks in, has his sign, the 3 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this ball hit down the right field line. It's hooking, and it'll go into the seats foul. So the count will remain full at 3-2. Ricky Rodriguez, the on-deck batter for your Washington Wild Things. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out, bottom of the fifth. 3-1 Wild Things lead here over the Lake Erie Crushers. Back to the 9-inning format, as we're only playing 1 game here tonight at Consol Energy Park. Mike Devine looks in, has his sign, the 3-2. And this ball lined foul off to the left, back into the seats. So Grayson still staying alive with 2 straight foul balls. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2, nobody out. Grayson and Devine in quite a battle here to lead off this bottom of the fifth inning. Grayson trying to reach base. Devine looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 3 ball, 2 strike offering. And a swing and a miss there. Grayson strikes out, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Big battle there, but Grayson eventually loses, striking out for Mike Devine. That's his 4th strikeout of the day, and that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far 2 for 2, has singled in each of his first 2 at-bats, drove in a run and scored a run in his single in inning number 3. 1 man out, bottom of the 5th, 3-1 Wild Things lead. Mike Devine looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way to Ricky Rodriguez. And Rodriguez takes this one low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. No action in either bullpen. Both starters so far is doing so good here in this ball game. Just 3 runs for Devine, 1 run for Snyder. The 1-0, and that one's fouled back to the seats. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on Ricky Rodriguez. 1 man out, bottom of the 5th. Rodriguez, one of 4 All-Stars on this Wild Things team. Dave Popkins, Ricky Rodriguez, Zach Groats, and Trevor Foss, now with the Cleveland Indians, represented the team at the All-Star game. The 1-1 pitch, and that one's fouled off by Rodriguez. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Trevor Foss was actually in the house tonight, honored prior to the game for having his contract selected by the Cleveland Indians. Currently in Single A with the Lake County Captains of the Cleveland Indians. Has a record of 1-1 and a 4.50 ERA. This one shot to third. Constantino has it, throwing to first, and that's in time for out number 2. Nice defensive play there by Brendan Constantino, getting to that ball quickly and throwing over to first in time to get Rodriguez. That'll bring to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 1 for 2, popped out in the first and hit a 2-run home run in inning number 3. That was his 11th home run of the season. Leads the team in that category. Opposite field shot, batting from the left side against the righty Mike Devine. Here's the pitch, and Popkins a swing and a miss there. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Wild Things right fielder. 2 men out, bottom of the 5th. 3-1 Wild Things lead over the Lake Erie Crushers. Devine has his sign, the no ball, 1 strike offering, and that one's in there for a strike as well. Count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, 2 men out here in the bottom of the 5th. 3-1 Wild Things lead. Mike Devine has his sign, the 0-2 offering. And it's inside and gets Popkins on the shoulder. And Popkins, that one did not feel good. He fell down at home plate, rolling around. Now the trainer, Jess Borgen, comes out to check on him, and Popkins bent over at home plate. This is not a good sign for the Wild Things fans. Popkins has squatted down at home plate, takes that one off the shoulder as Mike Devine accidentally goes up and in on Dave Popkins. It was a breaking ball. Popkins walking it off, and he's going to go down to first base. So Popkins will stay in this ball game. Going to have a big bruise tomorrow morning, but he'll take the hit by pitch as he gets on base with 2 men out. That'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far in this one, 1 for 2. Struck out in the first and singled in inning number 3. So 2 men out here in the bottom of the 5th. Popkins hit by a pitch as he's on base. And Jimmy Yezzo stepping up to the plate. Yezzo, 10 home runs on the year, now second on the team. His 31 RBI is good for second on the team as well. 2 men out, bottom of the 5th. Yezzo now at the plate. Dave Popkins takes his lead from first. Popkins, 5 steals on the year for the Washington Wild Things. Good for a tie of third place on the team. Here's Devine's pitch to Yezzo, and Yezzo takes that one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things designated hitter, batting from the left side against the righty Mike Devine. Devine looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. Yezzo takes this one outside as well, so Devine falling behind Yezzo here, 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count, 2 men out, bottom of the 5th, 3-1 Wild Things lead. Devine looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2 ball, no strike offering. And Yezzo takes this one low for a ball. Count now goes to 3 balls and no strikes. So after hitting Dave Popkins, Mike Devine comes back and has thrown 3 straight balls here in the at-bat to Jimmy Yezzo. 3-0 the count, 2 men out. Devine looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the 3 ball, no strike offering. And that one's outside, ball 4. So 4 straight wide ones to Jimmy Yezzo. And now there are runners at first and second with 2 men out for the Wild Things. Neither on courtesy of a hit. And that'll bring to the plate the catcher, Kyle Pollock. Pollock so far 0 for 2 in this ball game. Grounded out in the second and popped out in inning number 3. So far, Wild Things have left 4 men on base through the first 4 innings of play, trying to drive in these 2 runs, these 2 men here, and get some insurance on the scoreboard. The Lake Erie Crushers leaving 4 men on base as well for them. 2 men out, bottom of the 5th. 3-1 Wild Things lead. Kyle Pollock coming to the plate in a big spot as the Wild Things try to add on. 2 outs. Dave Popkins, the runner at second. Popkins got hit by a pitch, and then Jimmy Yezzo walked following the hit by pitch. So runners at first and second. Mike Devine looking into Jose Barraza. Devine going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch on the way to Pollock. And Pollock takes this one for a strike on the inside corner, no balls and a strike. So Mike Devine coming back and throwing a strike after having 4 straight balls to Jimmy Yezzo. Devine going through his signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the no ball, 1 strike pitch. And Pollock hammers it to left field. This ball is hooking, and it is foul. Kyle Pollock inches away from a 3-run home run. It hooked just to the left-hand side of the left field foul pole, and that ends up being a long strike number 2. That would have been a big blow if Kyle Pollock could get it, but unfortunately it goes foul, and the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count, 2 men out. Pollock that close to giving the Wild Things a big lead here in this one. He'll have to do it again. Runners are still at first and second with 2 men out. Devine looking in. Going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, the 0-2 pitch. And this one fouled off by Kyle Pollock. That one goes back into the stands, foul as well. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. So 2 straight foul balls by Kyle Pollock, nearly hitting a 3-run home run that would have given the Wild Things a 6-1 lead. However, it hooked foul at the last minute. So the Wild Things still clinging to their 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the 5th at Consol Energy Park. Mike Devine looks into his catcher, Jose Barraza. Devine has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 0-2 pitch. And Pollock takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count on the Wild Things catcher. Steve Solkowski's the backup for the Wild Things. He's out in the bullpen right now. He'll catch bullpen sessions for the guys warming up. Devine has his sign, he's set, the 1-2 offering. And that one's outside for a ball. Count will go even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now the Lake Erie Crushers have 3 catchers on their roster. Jose Barraza, the primary catcher, then Brian De La Rosa, his backup. But Barraza's been playing first base a lot recently, so De La Rosa's been getting some shots behind the plate. And R.J. Devish is De La Rosa's backup. Devine has his sign, the 2-2 pitch. And this ball hammered to left field. Rob Pollard back to the track near the wall, and he will make the catch. And that is in time for out number 3. Pollock giving that one a ride, but just not enough, as it will end the inning. No runs in the inning for the Wild Things, no hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base after the hit by pitch and the walk. After 5 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 6th. And the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. Last inning for the Lake Erie Crushers, they would go 1-2-3 against Matt Snyder as Parker Norris struck out, Rob Pollard grounded out, and Sean Hurley grounded out to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th, Connor Oliver, Jose Barraza, and Eric Grabe, 3, 4, and 5 against Matt Snyder. Snyder so far in this one has gone 5 innings of work, giving up just 1 run. That run was earned on 4 hits while striking out 3 and walking 2 in the ball game. So a good start to this point for Matt Snyder, coming off the bad outing out of the bullpen where he went just 1 inning and gave up 3 runs, 2 earned in that ball game. Snyder rebounding nicely tonight. Had an 18.00 ERA coming into today. That will certainly drop after this start here today. So Matt Snyder going through his warm-up tosses. Connor Oliver will be the first man to face him for the Lake Erie Crushers. Oliver out in center field for all 3 games so far in these first 3 of the 4-game series. Oliver making his way to the plate right now. So far on the day, he's 1 for 2, struck out in the first and singled in inning number 3. Matt Snyder on for his 6th inning of work. Action will start in the Wild Things bullpen just in case. Colin Stanley getting up and getting ready to throw. here in this one. So action in the Wild Things bullpen. Matt Snyder trying to get through 6 innings tonight. He's given up just 1 run so far. Snyder looking in to his catcher, Kyle Pollock. Snyder has his sign. He's set. And the pitch on the way. And that one's in there for a strike at the knees. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Connor Oliver. Matt Snyder getting ahead of the first batter here in the 6th inning. Snyder looking in, has his sign, he's set. And the no ball, 1 strike pitch. And that one swung on a miss by Connor Oliver, taking that one in the dirt. And the count now going to no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here on Connor Oliver. Nobody out, top of the 6th. 3-1 Wild Things lead. Matt Snyder looks in, has his sign. And the no ball, 2 strike pitch. And that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Connor Oliver. Nobody out. Matt Snyder trying to get him chase on that slider. Didn't quite work. His strikeout pitch really hasn't been working today, but has still been able to get outs when he has needed to. Snyder looking in, has his sign, he's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. And Oliver hammers this one to right field. This one's hooking and will luckily go foul for Matt Snyder as the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. That one went a long way for Connor Oliver, but ends up being a long foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Matt Snyder looking in. Snyder going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this one lined into left center field. Andrew Heck going over, and he will make the running catch. And that's good for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Crushers here in the top of the 6th. And that'll bring to the plate the catcher, Jose Barraza. Barraza so far 0 for 2. Flew out in the 2nd and flew out in inning number 3. 1 man out, top of the 6th. 3-1. The Washington Wild Things lead here over the Lake Erie Crushers. Barraza batting from the left side against the left-handed pitcher, Matt Snyder. First 2 at-bats has flown out to Andrew Heck. See if Matt Snyder can get him here in the 6th inning. Snyder looking into Kyle Pollock. Matt Snyder has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one's just low for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the catcher, Jose Barraza. 1 man out in the top of the 6th. Snyder so far just 1 run allowed in this ball game. Snyder looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. That one's a called strike this time, hitting the outside corner. Count goes to 1-1. No action in the Lake Erie Crushers bullpen as Mike Devine, just allowing those 3 runs in the third inning of this ball game, has been scoreless since. Snyder has his sign, the 1-1, and that one's low for a ball. Snyder falling behind, 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Jose Barraza. The number 4 hitter in the lineup for the Lake Erie Crushers was at first base last night and catcher here tonight. Snyder has his sign, the 2 ball, 1 strike offering. And Barraza grounding this one towards the middle. Magruder giving chase, slides, and he can't make the play. It'll go into center field for a base hit. Barraza a wide turnaround first as Chris Grayson able to get to that ball and hold him there. So it's a 1-out single for Jose Barraza, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Eric Grabe. Grabe so far, no official at-bat, has walked in each of his first 2 at-bats here in this ball game. Scored a run in the 4th inning and reached third base in inning number 2. Manager Greg Langbank coming out of the Washington Wild Things dugout with action in the bullpen. We're going to see if he goes to the pitching change, and he will. So we're going to take a break here on the MSA Sports Network. We'll be right back with more coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Currently in the top of the 6th with 1 man out in the score. Your Wild Things 3, Lake Erie Crushers 1.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers, expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the top of the 6th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. New pitcher on for the Washington Wild Things as it'll be right-hander Colin Stanley. Stanley so far in the year, a record of 3-1, one save on the year, a 3.20 ERA, appearing in his 26th game, has thrown 33 2/3 innings of work, giving up 15 runs, 12 earned on 28 hits, 27 strikeouts, and 11 walks on the year. Book not officially closed on Matt Snyder, but so far, 5 1/3 innings of work, has given up 1 run. That run was earned on 5 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts for Matt Snyder. So a good bounce back outing for him so far. Colin Stanley will look to keep that runner right where he is at first base in relief of Matt Snyder. So Stanley going through the warm-up tosses. And first man due up to face him here in this top of the 6th inning will be the shortstop, Eric Grabe. Grabe, no official at-bat. 2 walks on the night for him. He's also scored a run in inning number 4. So Colin Stanley on for the Washington Wild Things here in the top of the 6th inning. Matt Snyder leaves being the pitcher of record right now, if the Wild Things can hold on to this lead. Colin Stanley looking in. Stanley going through the signs with Pollock. Has one he likes. He's set. And the pitch on the way. And this ball lined up the middle, and that's a base hit. So the first man to greet Colin Stanley in this ball game gets a single. So with 1 out, there's now runners at first and second for the Lake Erie Crushers. And that brings to the plate the first baseman, Richard Siegel. Siegel so far, 1 for 2, grounded out in the second and singled in inning number 4. Family matchup here right now between Colin Stanley and Richard Siegel. The two are actually third cousins. The first time they met was when Colin Stanley last year was playing for the Wild Things, and Richard Siegel played for the Gateway Grizzlies. The first time the third cousins met in person. So family battle here. Runners at first and second with 1 man out. Runner at second, Jose Barraza. Runner at first, Eric Grabe. Stanley looking in to Kyle Pollock. Has his sign. He's set. Checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And that one's inside and low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Richard Siegel. So Colin Stanley coming in. Gives up a base hit to the first man he faces here. And trying to keep the Lake Erie Crushers off the board. Stanley looks into Kyle Pollock. Going through his signs. Has one he likes. He's set. Checks the runner at second. And the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And this one grounded off to the right side. Foul past the first base coaching box. And the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count, 1 man out. This Wild Things bullpen has been very good all season for the Wild Things. As an ERA just above 3 on the year. And if the score stays this way and it's a save situation, Devin Davis will be the closer for the Wild Things as Zach Groats threw 6 innings of shutout baseball a night ago. Colin Stanley looking in, has his sign, checks the runner at second, and the 1-1 pitch. And a check swing there by Siegel. Doesn't go around, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on the Lake Erie first baseman. Top of the 6th, 3-1 Wild Things lead. Colin Stanley appearing in his 26th game of the year for the Washington Wild Things. That's third most on the team, behind Zach Groats, who has 28, and Devin Davis, who has 29. So Stanley, the third most used pitcher out there in the bullpen. Andrew Wick right behind him with 25 appearances on the season. Colin Stanley looking in. Stanley going through the signs with Kyle Pollock. Has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 2 ball, 1 strike offering. And that one's low. That one's actually in there at the knees for a called strike. 2 balls and 2 strike. Delayed strike call there by Chuck Adaya behind the plate. 2-2, 1 man out here in the top of the 6th. 3-1, the Washington Wild Things lead over the Lake Erie Crushers. Colin Stanley looking in out of the bullpen for second pitcher used by the Wild Things today. Stanley has his sign, checks the runner at second, and the 2-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss there. Stanley strikes out Siegel, and that's out number 2 here in the top of the 6th. So Stanley gets the best of his third cousin, and that'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Brendan Constantino. Constantino so far 1 for 1. Single in the second, hit a sacrifice bunt in inning number 4. 2 men out, top of the 6th. 3-1 Wild Things lead. Jose Barraza, the runner at second, and Eric Grabe, the runner at first. Stanley has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And a swing and a miss there by Constantino at a ball in the dirt. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on the Lake Erie third baseman. Played shortstop the last time the Wild Things faced off against the Lake Erie Crushers up in Avon, Ohio. Was mostly a shortstop. Was splitting time with Max Casper. Now moving over to third base with the departure of Juan Avila. Here's Colin Stanley's 0-1, and that one's in there for a strike as well, so Stanley gets ahead of Constantino. No balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, 2 men out, top of the 6th. Stanley trying to get through this 6th inning of work. Stanley looking in. Has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 0-2 pitch. And a swing and a foul ball off towards Lake Erie's dugout, so Constantino able to stay alive here against Colin Stanley. Count remains no balls and 2 strikes. 0-2, 2 men out. Stanley got his first strikeout of the game, striking out Richard Siegel. Now looks to take care of Brendan Constantino ahead 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Colin Stanley looks into Kyle Pollock. Stanley going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 0-2 offering. And that one just high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kyle Pollock held on to that one for an extra second or two, trying to get the call from Chuck Adaya behind the plate, but it was the correct call by Adaya as that one just above the letters on Constantino. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Colin Stanley looks in. Stanley going through the signs one more time, has one he likes, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. And a swing and a miss. Constantino strikes out, and that ends the inning. No runs in the inning for the Crushers on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 5.5, the score, your Washington Wild Things 3, Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
Hi, this is Hines Ward. If you're a high school sports fan, the place to go all year round is the MSA Sports Network. Log on every day to www.msasports.net for the schedules, the scores, the standings, the rankings, and of course, all of the broadcasts includes exclusive Whitfield playoffs and championship action. Anytime, anywhere, always there, the MSA Sports Network.
Enjoy shopping and dining at one of Ohio Valley Mall's 100 merchants, including Boscov's, MC Sports, Hibbett Sports, Pat Catan's, Christopher & Banks, Men's Warehouse, and many more. Check out the new Buckle Store. And coming soon, Buffalo Wild Wings. If the little ones need a break, head to the Kids Zone, sponsored by Ohio Valley Medical Center and East Ohio Regional Hospital, your community hospitals.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 6th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 3 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. Last inning for your Washington Wild Things. Chris Grayson struck out to start things, then Ricky Rodriguez would ground out. Dave Popkins was hit by a pitch on the shoulder, then Jimmy Yezzo walked, and Kyle Pollock flew out to end the inning. Due up here in the 6th, Logan Uxa, Jamadrick Magruder, and Austin Wolbrock, 7, 8, and 9, facing off against Mike Devine. Devine so far in this game has gone 5 innings of work, giving up 3 runs, all of them earned on 6 hits. He's struck out, as I counted up, 4 men in the ball game and has walked 1 batter to this point. So far an okay outing for Mike Devine. Not great, not terrible. He's given up 3 runs in the ball game. Kept his team in it against the Wild Things. The Wild Things looking to add on against him here in this bottom half of the 6th. There is action in the Lake Erie Crushers bullpen, as starting to move out there is right-hander Jordan McCoy, starting to toss for the Lake Erie Crushers. Logan Uxa will make his way to the plate to lead things off for the Wild Things here in this bottom of the 6th inning. Uxa so far in the day, 0 for 2, grounded out in the 2nd, and struck out in inning number 4. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. 3-1 Wild Things lead over the Lake Erie Crushers. Mike Devine still on for Lake Erie. The starter for Lake Erie tonight against the Wild Things, making his 12th appearance against this Wild Things team, 1-2 with a 4.50 ERA in his career. Here's the pitch, and Uxa takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here to Logan Uxa. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. 3-1 Wild Things lead. Devine has his sign, the 1-0 offering. And Uxa takes this one way outside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. First 2 pitches missing badly here from Mike Devine in this bottom of the 6th inning. Devine has his sign, the 2-0 pitch. And this one's in there for a strike, hitting just at the letters on Uxa. And the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on the Wild Things first baseman. Devine has his sign, the 2-1 offering. And this ball popped up by Uxa back behind the plate. and that'll go into the seats foul. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, nobody out. Devine in for his 6th inning of work. For the Wild Things, Matt Snyder goes 5 1/3, gives up a run. It was earned on 5 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Devine looks in, has his sign, the 2-2. And Uxa checks his swing, but he'll take this one low, so the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count here on Logan Uxa. Jamadrick Magruder standing in the on-deck circle for the Washington Wild Things. Mike Devine looks in, has his sign, the 3-ball, 2-strike pitch. And Uxa takes it outside, ball 4. Leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 6th, has a runner on for the Wild Things, and nobody out. And that'll bring to the plate the second baseman, Jamadrick Magruder. Magruder so far on the day, 0 for 2, popped out in each of his first 2 at-bats. Looking to get his first hit of the ball game here. Uxa reaches against Mike Devine with nobody out, walking. That's the second walk on the day for Devine. Devine looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way to Magruder. Magruder showing bunt, he'll get this one down. Devine comes off the mound to field, throw to first, and that's in time for out number 1. So a sacrifice bunt there for Jamadrick Magruder. Moves a runner up to second with 1 man out, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far is 1 for 2 in this ball game, flew out in the 3rd, and singled in inning number 4. Jordan McCoy still warming up in the bullpen for the Lake Erie Crushers. Wobrock going to try to drive in an insurance run for your Wild Things. He has Logan Uxa out there at second. Uxa walked to lead off this inning. Mike Devine looking in to his catcher, Jose Barraza. Devine going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set. And the pitch on the way. And this one grounded towards second base. Max Casper will handle it. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 2. Moving up to third base now is Logan Uxa. So there's a runner at third with 2 men out, and that'll bring Andrew Heck to the plate. Heck so far 1 for 3. Reached on an error his first time, doubled and scored a run in the 3rd, and struck out in inning number 4. 2 outs, runner at third for the Wild Things is Logan Uxa, and Heck to the plate. Heck has 9 RBIs on the year. No home runs to this point to go along with his 263 average. Or 253 average, excuse me. Mike Devine looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch. And Heck lines us one to left field. That's a base hit. Logan Uxa comes in to score, and your Wild Things add an insurance run here in the bottom of the 6th. It's now 4-1 Wild Things over the Lake Erie Crushers. Andrew Heck's 10th RBI of the year as the Wild Things pad their lead a little bit here in the bottom of the 6th. As Uxa comes in to score, and that'll bring to the plate the center fielder, Chris Grayson. Grayson so far 0 for 3, flew out in the 1st, flew out in the 3rd, and struck out in inning number 5. So 4-1 Wild Things now lead here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 men out, runner at first. Devine has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. Heck taking off for second. Pitch is called strike, the throw down, and it bounces away into center field. But Andrew Heck not seeing it, so he's going to get in there with the stolen base. Heck's 6th stolen base of the year, tying himself with Austin Wobrock for second on this Washington Wild Things team now. 1 ball, no strikes the count. No balls and a strike to count on Chris Grayson. That pitch called a strike on the inside corner. And a runner at second now with 2 men out. Wild Things another chance to add on here in this inning. No balls, 1 strike at 2 men out. Mike Devine looking in. Devine has his sign, he's set. And the no ball, 1 strike offering. And now he'll step off and look Andrew Heck back to second base. No balls, 1 strike, 2 men out. Colin Stanley got the last 2 outs of that top of the 6th inning, keeping Lake Erie off the scoreboard. Doing a nice job. No action on the Wild Things bullpen. He'll likely come in for the top half of the 7th. Wild pitch gets away from Jose Barraza, and now Andrew Heck moves up to third with 2 men out. On that wild pitch, stole second base. Wild pitch moves him to third after his RBI single. So it's now 4-1 Wild Things. Runner at third and 2 men out for Chris Grayson. 1 ball, 1 strike the count on the Wild Things center fielder. 1-1, 2 men out here in this bottom of the 6th. Mike Devine looking in. Devine going through the signs with Jose Barraza. Has one he likes. Checks the runner at third. And the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. And Grayson pops this one up foul back behind the plate. And the count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count here on Chris Grayson. 2 men out, bottom of the 6th. The run in already in the inning after the RBI single by Andrew Heck. Heck standing at third now with 2 men out. Devine looks into Jose Barraza going through the signs. Devine has one he likes. He's set. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And a foul ball at the plate by Chris Grayson, so the count remains 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Grayson's fouled off a lot of tough pitches here today. So has not gotten in that hit column for the Washington Wild Things. Grayson, one of 3 hitters of the starting 9 for the Wild Things that have not gotten into the hit column. Chris Grayson, Kyle Pollock, and Jamadrick Magruder still looking for hits in this ballgame. Sorry, Logan Uxa as well. So 4 of the Wild Things 9 have not picked up hits. Devine has his sign, checks third, the 1-2 offering, and this one hit the left field. Going back on a couple steps is Pollard. Now he'll move to his right a little bit, and he'll make the catch, and that's in time for out number 3. However, the Wild Things do get a run in the inning on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 6 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. POGS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. POGS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to POGS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 7th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. Last inning for the Lake Erie Crushers, Connor Oliver flew out to start things, and Jose Barraza would single, and that would be all for the starter, Matt Snyder. Colin Stanley came in to relieve him. Eric Graves singled off Stanley to lead off the inning, but Stanley coming through clean in the inning, striking out Richard Siegel and Brendan Constantino to end the inning. Due up here in the 7th against Stanley, Max Casper, Parker Norris, and Rob Poller, 8, 9, and 1 for the Lake Erie Crushers. Final line on the starter, Matt Snyder. Snyder went 5 1/3, gave up 1 run. It was earned on 5 hits, walked 2, and struck out 3 on the night. Making his way to the plate to lead things off against Colin Stanley here in the top of the 7th is the second baseman, Max Casper. Casper so far 0 for 2 here in this one. Casper hit into a fielder's choice in the second and hit into a double play, flying out to right field, and then Popkins firing a strike to the plate to throw out Richard Siegel to end that inning. So Casper stepping back in, looking for his first hit in the ball game. Colin Stanley looking in. Stanley has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And a check swing there by Casper. He went around, says Chuck Adaya behind the plate, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Max Casper. Colin Stanley, in his second year with the Washington Wild Things, made his debut last season in Bosse Field in Evansville, Indiana, where we were over the last road trip. As the ball gets away from the Lake Erie bullpen, they're going to have to retrieve that when they do, and we're ready to step back in. Last year for the Wild Things went 0-1 with a 1.24 ERA in 16 games. Struck out 36 and 21 2/3 innings of work. The 0-1, and that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Stanley's been very reliable for the Wild Things here this season. His last outing gave up 3 runs. One of those runs were earned in River City in Sunday's ball game on August the 7th. Stanley has his sign. He set the 1-1, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Max Casper. The closer today, if the Wild Things would need one, would be Devin Davis, as Zach Groats threw 6 shutout innings in yesterday's ball game. Stanley has his sign, he's set, and the 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. And this one swung on a miss by Casper. Casper fooled on that one as he chased a breaking ball towards the inside part of the plate. Actually went down on a knee after swinging at that one, and the count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. 2 strikeouts for Colin Stanley so far today. On the year has 27 strikeouts in 33 and 2/3 innings. Colin Stanley looking into Kyle Pollock. Stanley has his sign. He's set. And the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. And Casper grounds this one towards the middle. Wobrock dives for it, and he's not going to get it. It's into center field for a base hit. So Max Casper on with a leadoff single here in the top of the 7th. Leadoff man reaching here in the 7th, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Parker Norris. Norris so far 1 for 2 on the day, singled in the 3rd, and struck out in inning number 5. Nobody out, top of the 7th. 4-1 Wild Things lead here over the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things adding a run in the bottom of the 6th on the RBI single by Andrew Heck. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Colin Stanley on the mound. The runner at first is Max Casper. Colin Stanley looking in. Stanley has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one hit towards center field. Chris Grayson drifting over into left center. Called off by Andrew Heck. And Heck makes a nice running catch there for out number 1. So that's the first out in the inning for the Lake Erie Crushers. There is action in the Washington Wild Things bullpen as lefty Brian O'Keefe is warming up out there. So Parker Norris flies out to left. It's the first out in the inning, and Rob Pollard coming to the plate. Pollard so far 0 for 3. Popped out in the 1st, flew out in the 3rd, and grounded out in inning number 5. Now up here in the top of inning number 7. Runner at first with 1 man out. Colin Stanley looking into Kyle Pollock. Stanley going through his signs. Has one he likes. He's set, and the pitch on the way. Throw over to first, and getting back over there is Max Casper. Casper reached on a leadoff single to lead things off for the Lake Erie Crushers. For Casper on the year, currently has 2 stolen bases in 72 games played. Colin Stanley has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one's low and inside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes on Rob Pollard. Stanley falling behind the first man he faced here in the 7th. Action in the Lake Erie bullpen is warming up out there is Keegan Gadotti, the right-hander. Colin Stanley looking in. Stanley has his sign. He's set, and the 1 ball, no strike offering. And a swing and a miss there by Pollard. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on the left-handed hitting Pollard against the right-hander Colin Stanley. Stanley out of the bullpen to relieve the starter Matt Snyder. Wild Things 3 games under 500 right now, looking to improve upon that record here tonight against Lake Erie. They currently lead 4-1 in the top of the 7th. Stanley has his sign. He's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And this one grounded to the right side, but it'll go foul past first base, and the count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2, 1 man out here in this top of the 7th. 4-1 Wild Things lead. Brian O'Keefe warming up in the bullpen for the Wild Things if he's needed here in this one. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 1 man out. Righty Colin Stanley on the mound, relieving the left-handed starter Matt Snyder. Stanley 3.20 ERA. Good for a tie of 3rd place on the team. He and Devin Davis both have ERAs at 3.2. Stanley has his sign, the 1-2 pitch, and this one grounded to the right side. Jamadrick Magruder handles it, has no play at second, so we'll get the shore out at first, gets it there in time, and that's out number 2. Moving up to second on the play is Max Casper. There's a runner at second now with 2 men out, and that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Sean Hurley. Hurley so far 0 for 3, struck out in the 1st, popped out in the 3rd, and grounded out in inning number 5. 2 men out, top of the 7th. 4-1 Wild Things lead here over the Lake Erie Crushers. Game 3 of this rain-aided 4-game series. Colin Stanley looks into Kyle Pollock. Stanley going through the signs, has one he likes, checks the runner at second, and the pitch on the way. And that one's inside, or actually a called strike on the inside corner. Count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 the count on Sean Hurley. Stanley just hitting the inside corner there on that pitch. Stanley looks in, has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at second, and the 0-1 offering. And a swing and a miss there by Hurley, and the count now goes to no balls and 2 strikes. Stanley blowing a fastball by him there. Gets ahead 0-2. 2 men out here in the top of the 7th. 4-1 Wild Things lead. Colin Stanley looking in to the designated hitter, Sean Hurley. Stanley has his sign. He's set, and the no ball 2 strike pitch. And that one's a called strike 3. Sean Hurley strikes out, and the inning is over. No runs in the inning for the Lake Erie Crushers on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. After 6.5, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get a sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass is installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the bottom of the 7th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. New pitcher on for the Lake Erie Crushers is Keegan Gadotti, the right-hander. Gadotti so far in the year enters with a record of 2-1, a 4.45 ERA, appearing in his 39th game. No starts on the year, 36 and a third innings of work, giving up 25 runs, 18 earned on 52 hits, 24 strikeouts, and 13 walks on the season for Keegan Gadotti. Final line of the starter, Mike Devine. Devine, 6 innings of work, gives up 4 runs, all earned on 7 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts on the day for Mike Devine. So Keegan Gadotti, the new pitcher. First man up to face him here in the bottom of the 7th will be the third baseman, Ricky Rodriguez. Rodriguez so far 2 for 3 in the game. Single in the first, RBI single in the third, and scored a run, and then grounded out to end in the 5th inning. So now up here to lead off the bottom of the 7th. 4-1, your Washington Wild Things lead over the Lake Erie Crushers. Ricky Rodriguez to the plate, 25 RBIs on the year, got his 25th RBI earlier in this ball game on that single in inning number 3. Ricky Rodriguez standing in at 6 foot 215 from Los Angeles, California, played for the Amarillo Thunderheads a year ago. Gadotti has his sign. Here's the pitch, and a swing and a miss there by Rodriguez. The count goes to no balls and a strike. 0-1 here on the Wild Things third baseman, was in the designated hitter spot in last night's ball games. Also appeared in left field a couple games this year. Gadotti has his sign, the 0-1, and Rodriguez takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Ricky Rodriguez. Nobody out, bottom of the 7th, 4-1 Wild Things lead. Gadotti has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. A check swing there by Rodriguez, but he holds up in time, and the count now goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Colin Stanley, 1 2/3 innings of work out of the bullpen so far. Brian O'Keefe was warming up at the end of that 7th inning, so we'll see if he comes in. Gadotti looks in, has his sign, the 2-1, and Rodriguez takes this one way up and in, and the count now goes to 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 here on Ricky Rodriguez with nobody out in the bottom of the 7th. Wild Things have a 4-1 lead. Looking to add on to that one here in this ball game. Gadotti has his sign, the 3 ball, 1 strike pitch. And Rodriguez takes this one for a strike. Count goes full 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. More action out there in the Lake Erie Crushers bullpen. Josh Laxer warming up now for the Crushers. Gadotti has his sign, the 3-2. And this one grounded towards short. It'll be handled by Grabe. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the 7th, and that'll bring to the plate the right fielder, Dave Popkins. Popkins so far 1 for 2, popped out in the first, hit a 2-run home run in inning number 3, and was hit by a pitch his last time up. 1 man out, bottom of the 7th. Brian O'Keefe continues to warm up out there for the Washington Wild Things. So Keegan Gadotti looking in to Jose Barraza. Gadotti has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And Popkins takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Popkins in his last at-bat taking a pitch off of his right shoulder, still batting from the left side against the righty Gadotti. Gadotti has his sign, the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And Popkins drives this one towards left center field. Giving chase is Pollard, and he's going to make the running catch. And that's good for out number 2. Nice catch there by Rob Pollard. 2 up, 2 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the 7th. And that'll bring to the plate the designated hitter, Jimmy Yezzo. Yezzo so far 1 for 2. Struck out in the first, single in the third, and walked in inning number 5. 2 men out, bottom of the 7th. 4-1 Wild Things lead over the Lake Erie Crushers. Jimmy Yezzo will try to get something started offensively for the Wild Things here with 2 men out. Keegan Gadotti looking in, has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way to Yezzo. This one swung on and missed, and the count goes to no balls and a strike here on Jimmy. 0-1 the count, 2 men out, bottom of the 7th, 4-1 Wild Things lead. Keegan Godotti looks in. Godotti has his sign. He's set. And the no ball, one strike pitch. Swing and a miss there by Yezo, and the count now goes to 0-2. Yezo down in the count here to Keegan Godotti. Godotti on for the starter, Mike Devine. Godotti has his sign. He's set. And the 0-2 pitch. And this one grounded to the right side, handled by Richard Siegel over there at first. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that's in time for out number 3. 1-2-3 go the Wild Things here in the 7th. And after 7 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Lake Erie Crushers 1. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 8th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Lake Erie Crushers 1. New pitcher on for your Washington Wild Things. It's left-hander Brian O'Keefe. O'Keefe enters this one with a record of 2-1, a 4.76 ERA, appearing in his 18th game. He has made 3 starts on the year, has thrown 34 innings of work, giving up 20 runs, 18 of those earned on 35 hits, 10 walks, and 31 strikeouts to go along with that 2-1 record and that 4.76 ERA. The final line for the right-hander Colin Stanley. Stanley went an inning and 2/3, did not give up a run on 2 hits, didn't walk a man, and struck out 3 on the night. So good night out of the bullpen for Colin Stanley. Brian O'Keefe will look to keep things going for the Wild Things. Last inning for the Lake Erie Crushers, Max Casper singled to start things. Then Parker Norris flew out. Casper would move up on a ground out by Rob Poller, so there'd be a runner at second and 2 men out before Sean Hurley struck out looking to end the inning. Due up here in the 8th, Connor Oliver, Jose Barraza, and Eric Grabe, 3, 4, and 5, facing off against Brian O'Keefe. O'Keefe's last time out was in River City against the River City Rascals. Made the start in Game 2 of that doubleheader. Only went 3 innings in that ball game. So looking for a bounce-back outing out of the bullpen here tonight. Stepping in to lead things off for the Lake Erie Crushers is the center fielder, Connor Oliver. Oliver so far 1 for 3 on the day. Struck out in the first, singled in the third, and flew out in inning number 6. Nobody out top of the 8th. Brian O'Keefe looking for a scoreless 8th inning out of the Wild Things bullpen. O'Keefe looking into Kyle Pollock as Connor Oliver steps in. Lefty on lefty matchup here as Oliver faced a lefty to start the game as Matt Snyder is the only pitcher he's faced so far. O'Keefe's pitch, and that one's in there on the outside corner for a strike. No balls and a strike. 0-1 the count here on Connor Oliver. Nobody out top of the 8th. 4-1 Wild Things lead. Brian O'Keefe looks into Kyle Pollock. O'Keefe has his sign. He's set, and the 0-1 offering. And that one's just a little bit high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Brian O'Keefe has been very good out of the bullpen for the Washington Wild Things. It's the starts that he's kind of struggled in this season. Has one very good start against Florence, where went 6 innings, giving up a run, and his last 2 times out were ugly. Ground ball to second. Magruder handles it, throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Crushers here in the top of the 8th, and that brings to the plate the catcher, Jose Barraza. Barraza so far 1 for 3. Flew out in the second, flew out in the third, and singled in inning number 6. 1 man out top of the 8th as O'Keefe retires the first man he faces here in this ball game coming out of the bullpen. Brian O'Keefe on, facing Jose Barraza now, lefty on lefty. As due up in this inning, 2 left-handers and a right-hander. So that's why Greg Langben makes the move for the lefty Brian O'Keefe. O'Keefe looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs, has one he likes, he's set, and the pitch. And that one's outside for a ball, 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Jose Barraza. 1 man out top of the 8th. 4-1 Wild Things lead here over the Lake Erie Crushers. O'Keefe's 1-0 offering. And this one swung on a miss. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 on Jose Barraza, one man out. Barraza, the primary catcher for the Lake Erie Crushers, has also seen time at first base a lot this season, giving Brian De La Rosa some opportunities behind the plate. Brian O'Keefe looks in, has his sign, the 1-1, and this one grounded back towards the mound. Brian O'Keefe has it go off, his glove recovers, his throw to first is not in time. It'll be an infield single for Jose Barraza. High hop there on the ground ball by Barraza, bounced over the head of Brian O'Keefe. O'Keefe tried to make the play on the glove, but it bounced out of his glove, and Barraza able to reach on that slow roller. That'll bring up the shortstop, Eric Grabe. Grabe so far 1 for 1, walked in the second, walked and scored a run in the fourth, and singled in inning number 6. One man out, top of the 8th, 4-1 Wild Things lead here over the Lake Erie Crushers. Game 3 of this rain-aided 4-game series. Brian O'Keefe looking into Kyle Pollock as Grabe steps in. O'Keefe looks in. Has his sign, he's set. Checks the runner at first, and the pitch on the way. And Grabe takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Lake Erie Crushers shortstop. Wild Things enter today 18-18 at home, looking to go over 500 at home for the first time all season. O'Keefe has his sign, the 1-0 offering. And this one fouled off back into the seats. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. They have been under 500 or at 500 at home for the entire season, so looking to go over 500 at home for the first time in this 2016 season. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 man out. O'Keefe looking into Kyle Pollock, going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. And this ball hammered to left field. Andrew Heck back on it to the track, and this ball is gone. A 2-run home run for Eric Grabe, and the Lake Erie Crushers inching closer now. 4-3 Wild Things lead here in the top of the 8th. A 2-run home run for Grabe on the season. That is Eric Grabe's 3rd home run of the year, and Lake Erie inching just a little bit closer now. It's 4-3. That ball crushed by Eric Grabe over the left field wall. Jose Barraza coming in to score as well, and that'll bring to the plate the first baseman, Richard Siegel. Siegel so far on the day, 1 for 3. Grounded out in the second, singled in the fourth, and struck out in inning number 6. Now 4-3, Wild Things lead here over the Lake Erie Crushers. 1 man out in the top of the 8th following that 2-run home run by Eric Grabe. Brian O'Keefe looking in. O'Keefe has his sign, he's set. Here's the pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Siegel, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. With that, that'll prompt action in the Wild Things bullpen. Andrew Wick starts to warm out there for Washington. Brian O'Keefe looks in. O'Keefe has his sign, the no ball, 1 strike pitch. Swing and a miss there by Siegel, and the count now goes to 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. Siegel's faced off against all 3 pitchers here in this game. He went 1 for 2 off of the starter, Matt Snyder. Then Colin Stanley struck him out in the 6th, and his first at-bat here against Brian O'Keefe in this ball game. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. O'Keefe looking in, has his sign. Here's the pitch, and this one's in the dirt for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count. Here in the top of inning number 8, 2 runs in on the 2-run home run by Eric Grabe. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that one's low for a ball. Count goes even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count here on Richard Siegel. 1 man out, bottom of the 8th, 4-3 Wild Things lead. O'Keefe has his sign and the 2-2 offering. And this ball hit towards left field off to foul territory. Rodriguez giving chase, and he'll make the catch, and that's good for out number 2. Second out of the inning for the Lake Erie Crushers, and that brings to the plate the third baseman, Brendan Constantino. Constantino so far 1 for 2, singled in the second, sack bunt in inning number 4, and struck out in inning number 6. And manager Greg Langman coming to the mound. He's going to make the move to the bullpen here in the top of the 8th with 2 men out. So Brian O'Keefe's night is done. We'll be right back with more Washington Wild Things baseball here on the MSA Sports Network. Currently in the top of the 8th with 2 outs and nobody on. And the score, your Wild Things 4, Lake Erie Crushers 3.
PA Leadership Charter School is a proud sponsor of the Washington Wild Things. PALCS is a tuition-free online public school for K-12 students. PALCS can help your child hit a home run in their education through flexibility, student-to-teacher interaction, and socialization opportunities. Go to PALCS.org for more information. Go Wild Things!
PA Leadership Charter School. Lead, don't follow.
You just never know how your day is going to go. The same holds true at Penn Station East Coast Subs. For some unsuspecting spuds, they start their day as Idaho potatoes, only to be transformed into hand-hewn fries. Unlucky for them, good for you. However, both your days get better because the fries get to sidle up next to a perfectly grilled Philly cheesesteak. Then, on their way to their final resting place, they get bathed in citric nectar, our signature lemonade. Wherever your day takes you, we recommend Penn Station be one of the stops.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Still in the top of the 8th with 2 men out and nobody on. And a new pitcher on for the Washington Wild Things as Andrew Wick takes over in this ball game. Wick 2-1, 2 saves on the year, a 4.45 ERA, appearing in his 26th game. Has thrown 30 1/3 innings of work, giving up 20 runs, 15 earned on 23 hits, 28 strikeouts, and 12 walks on the season for Andrew Wick. Brian O'Keefe, not a clean inning for him out of the bullpen. Went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 2 runs, both earned on 2 hits, no walks, and no strikeouts. So Andrew Wick going to look to get the final out here in this top of the 8th inning. First man due up to face him will be Brendan Constantino. Constantino 1 for 2, as we said. Single in the second, sack bunt in the fourth, and struck out in inning number 6. So Andrew Wick on. Here, Wick was the closer in the first part of the season, but was removed due to struggles. It is a save situation, so we'll see if Wick has a chance to pick up his 3rd save of the season in the 9th inning, if he can get out of this one, or if they'll go to Devin Davis if the situation presents itself. Andrew Wick looking into Brendan Constantino. Wick looking into Pollock. Has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one's inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Brendan Constantino. 2 men out in this top of the 8th inning. 2 runs in on the 2-run home run by Eric Grabe. Andrew Wick looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And this ball popped up, foul territory off to the right. That'll get back into the seats, and the count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count here on Brendan Constantino. 2 men out in this top of the 8th inning. Eric Grabe, a 2-run home run. 4-3, your Wild Things lead over the Lake Erie Crushers. Game 3 of this rain-aided 4-game series. Andrew Wick looks in. Wick going through the signs. Has one he likes, he's set. And the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And this ball hit foul off to the right, back into the seats, and the count now goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 here on Brendan Constantino. Wick looking for the final out here in this top of the 8th inning. 2 runs in for the Lake Erie Crushers on the 2-run home run by Eric Grabe. Andrew Wick looks in. Wick has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this ball fouled off by Constantino, back into the seats. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 the count, 2 men out. 4-3, the Wild Things lead here over the Lake Erie Crushers, top of the 8th. As Wick trying to get through this inning, Constantino fouling off that one, so staying alive here against Andrew Wick. Wick looks into Kyle Pollock, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 2 strike offering. Swing and a miss. Wick strikes him out, and the inning is over. But Lake Erie gets 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. After 7.5 the score, your Washington Wild Things 4, Lake Erie Crushers 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
When looking to replace your athletic field, choose ProGrass, first in turf. ProGrass has installed over 500 fields in the U.S. Getting the best artificial turf for your field depends upon both the product and the partner you choose. That's why architects, athletic directors, and players choose the ProGrass Performance System. ProGrass maintains an active presence in the field turf industry as members of the Sports Turf Management Association and the American Sports Builder Association, and is proud to be recognized as a FIFA preferred manufacturer. Call ProGrass today at 866-270-6003 or visit them on the web at www.progressturf.com. ProGrass, first in turf.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, currently in the bottom of the 8th, and the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Lake Erie Crushers 3. New pitcher on for the Lake Erie Crushers as it'll be right-hander Josh Laxer. Laxer so far in the year, a record of 1-0 with a 3.68 ERA, appearing in his 9th game. That's thrown 7 1/3 innings of work, giving up 3 runs all earned on 7 hits, 4 strikeouts, and 3 walks on the year for Josh Laxer. Laxer in to relieve Keegan Gadotti. Gadotti went a perfect inning of work, did not walk anybody, and didn't strike out anybody in the contest. Due up to face Laxer here in the bottom of the 8th. Kyle Pollock, Logan Uxa, and Jamadrick Magruder, 6, 7, and 8, facing off against Josh Laxer. The Wild Things will look to pad their lead a little bit. They lead by 1. Go into the bottom of the 8th. There is no action in the Wild Things bullpen as of right now, so we'll see if they leave Andrew Wick in there to try to pick up his 3rd save of the season. Josh Laxer finishing his warm-up tosses here in the bottom of the 8th. Kyle Pollock, first man to face him here in this inning. Pollock so far in the game, 0 for 3, grounded out in the 2nd, popped out in the 3rd, and flew out in inning number 5, So Kyle Pollock stepping in here, bottom of the 8th. Wild Things lead 4-3 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Josh Laxer, the new pitcher in for the Crushers. 3rd pitcher used on the day for Lake Erie. Wild Things have used 4 pitchers, as they've used Matt Snyder, Colin Stanley, Brian O'Keefe, and Andrew Wick. For the Lake Erie Crushers, it's been Mike Devine, Keegan Gadotti, and now Josh Laxer. Kyle Pollock stepping in, 0 for 3 so far, looking for his first hit here on the day. Josh Laxer looking in. Laxer has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And Pollock takes this one inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Kyle Pollock nearly hit a 3-run home run his last time out, as he fouled one off and then gave another ball a ride, but unfortunately was not destined to hit that home run. The 1-0, this one grounded to the left side. Constantino handles it on the hop. He'll throw on to first, and that's in time for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down for the Wild Things here in the bottom of the 8th, and that brings to the plate the first baseman, Logan Uxa. Uxa so far 0 for 2, grounded out in the 2nd, struck out in the 4th, and walked and scored a run in inning number 6. 1 man out, bottom of the 8th. 4-3, the Wild Things lead over the Lake Erie Crushers. Logan Uxa, the left-handed batter, stepping in against the right-hander, Josh Laxer. Laxer looking into Jose Barraza, getting that first man out here in this inning. Laxer has his sign. He's set, and the pitch on the way. And this one grounded towards the middle, under the feet of Laxer, and that's a base hit for Logan Uxa. Uxa's first hit of the day, and there's a runner at first with 1 man out now in this bottom of the 8th inning, and that'll bring on the second baseman, Jamadrick Magruder. Magruder so far 0 for 2, popped out in the 2nd, popped out in the 4th, and hit a sacrifice bunt in inning number 6. Magruder batting from the left side against Josh Laxer, the right-handed pitcher. Logan Uxa collects his first hit of the day, a single up the middle. And Magruder trying to get into the hit column as well. Now 3 of the starting 9 Wild Things still looking for their first hits. Kyle Pollock, Jamadrick Magruder. And as Laxers has his sign, he's set, and Chris Grayson the other one. Here's the pitch, and Magruder takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Jamadrick Magruder. 1 man out, bottom of the 8th. 4-3 Wild Things lead. Josh Laxer checks his runner at first, has a sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, no strike pitch. And Magruder takes this one high and outside for a ball. Count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count. Laxer just 1 strike so far out of the bullpen. Went 1-0 to Kyle Pollock before Pollock grounded out. And Logan Uxa singled on his first pitch. Now 2-0. He's behind Jamadrick Magruder. Laxer has his sign. He's set. And the 2 ball, no strike offering. And that one's in there for a strike. Count now goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 the count here on Jamadrick Magruder. 1 man out, bottom of the 8th inning. Magruder trying to help pad this lead for the Washington Wild Things. Laxer looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2 ball, 1 strike pitch. And that one's a called strike on the inside corner. Count now to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2, 1 man out, bottom of the 8th. Magruder jumping out of the way of that pitch, but Chuck Adaya calls that one a strike on the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 man out. Josh Laxer looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 2-2 offering to Magruder. And this one grounded to the right side, and that's a base hit for Magruder. Back-to-back one-out singles for the Wild Things. Have runners at first and second now with one man out. And that'll bring to the plate the shortstop, Austin Wobrock. Wobrock so far in the day, 1 for 3, flew out in the third, singled in the fourth, and grounded out in inning number 6. Runners at first and second for the Wild Things now. One man out as they try to add on here in this bottom of the 8th inning. 4-3 lead here in this one. Jose Barraza relaying the signals to his fielders on the infield for the Lake Erie Crushers. Wobrock coming up to his walk-up song, Heathens, by 21 Pilots. One of the songs of the new movie Suicide Squad. Looking in is Josh Laxer. Laxer going through his signs. Laxer has one he likes. He's set. And the pitch on the way. Check to second. Here it comes. And Wobrock takes this one outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count here on the Wild Things shortstop. Wild Things threatening here in the bottom of the 8th with one man out. Had a half-hour delay to the start of this ball game as there was lightning in the area. Had to wait for that to subside. We got it underway at about 7:30 was the first pitch in this ball game. The 1-0, and that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Josh Laxer behind Austin Wobrock here with one man out. Runners at first and second for the Wild Things as Logan Uxa stands out there at second and Jamadrick Magruder standing at first base. Josh Laxer has his sign. He's set, and the 2 ball, no strike pitch. And this one swung on a miss by Wobrock. Count goes to 2-1. Big cut and a miss there for Wobrock. Wobrock, 1 home run of the year, and that was back in the 3rd game of the season, hit it against the Gateway Grizzlies. And the Wild Things in a comeback win over the Grizzlies that took 2 out of 3 in that first series of the year. Laxer has his sign. He's set, checks second, and the 2-1. And Wobrock takes this one in the dirt. Count now goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-1 the count. Runners at first and second for the Washington Wild Things. One man out, bottom of the 8th. 2 runs came in the top half of this 8th inning on the 2-run home run by shortstop Eric Grabe. Now Josh Laxer trying to get through this inning for Lake Erie. Wild Things trying to add on. Laxer has his sign, the 3-1, and this one lined down the left field line. That'll go foul, so the count goes full now to Wobrock. 3 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 the count here on the Wild Things shortstop. Batting from the left side against the righty Josh Laxer. Laxer, the 3rd pitcher used for the Lake Erie Crushers on the day. Logan Uxa takes his lead from second. Jamadrick Magruder takes his lead from first. Laxer looking into Barraza. Has his sign. He's set. And the 3 ball, 2 strike offering. And this ball hit towards center field. Going over to left center now, Connor Oliver. He'll call off the left fielder, Poller, and he'll make the catch. That's out number 2. Second out of the inning here for the Washington Wild Things, and that brings to the plate the left fielder, Andrew Heck. Heck so far in the day is 2 for 4. Reached on an error in the first, doubled and scored a run to the 3rd. Struck out in the 4th, and added an RBI single in inning number 6. 2 men out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. 4-3 Wild Things lead. Heck to the plate, and that'll bring out of the Lake Erie Crushers dugout the manager Cameron Roth. We'll see if they're going to make a move to the bullpen or if this is just a mound meeting. No sign to this point, as it doesn't look like he will be making a pitching change. Runners are at first and second now for the Wild Things with 2 men out. Logan Uxa at second, Jamadrick Magruder over there at first, as this is a visit by Cameron Roth to try to pump up his pitcher Laxer to get him out of this inning. Wild Things looking to add on here in this bottom of the 8th inning. Andrew Heck added the insurance his last time up with an RBI single. Wild Things led 3-1 at that point. That RBI single made the score 4-1 Wild Things. And since Lake Erie Crushers have come back and made this score 4-3 Wild Things over the Crushers. Andrew Heck stepping in as the meeting on the mound is done. Runners at first and second. 2 men out for the Washington Wild Things. Josh Laxer looking into Jose Barraza. Laxer going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set. And the pitch on the way. And that one's high for a ball. Count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Andrew Heck. 2 men out, bottom of the 8th. Wild Things leading 4-3 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Laxer has his sign. He's set. And the 1 ball, no strike offering. And that one's a called strike this time at the letters. Count goes even to Heck. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Heck's 5th at bat today. He's in the leadoff spot. 2 for 4 so far. Pretty good day for him at the plate. Looking to continue that good day here in this one. Josh Laxer looks in, has his sign, he's set, and the 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. And a swing and a miss there by Heck, and the count goes to 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 men out here in this bottom of the 8th inning. 4-3. Wild Things lead over the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things have a runner at second and a runner at first with 2 men out. Uxa reached second after a single, and Jamondrick Magruder followed that up with a single of his own. Josh Laxer looking in. Laxer going through the signs with Jose Barraza. Laxer has one he likes. He's set, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. And Heck takes this one outside for a ball. Count goes even now with 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Heck in his 4th year with the Washington Wild Things, the veteran on this team. He is at the league age limit of 27, so this could be his last year with the Washington Wild Things. Josh Laxer has his sign. He's set, and the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. And that one's called strike 3. Andrew Heck strikes out, and the inning is over. No runs in the inning for your Wild Things on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. After 8 innings of play, the score, your Washington Wild Things 4 and the Lake Erie Crushers 3. You're listening to Washington Wild Things baseball right here on the MSA Sports Network.
AAA members enjoy 24/7 roadside assistance, exclusive member-only discounts, expert travel assistance, free identity theft protection, and much more. With that AAA card in your wallet or purse, you have the peace of mind, safety, and security that only AAA membership can provide. Already a member? Don't forget to renew. Not a member? Join AAA today at any nearby office or online at AAA.com. AAA, we're always with you.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball, going to the top of the 9th, and the Wild Things lead this one 4-3. And Andrew Wick going to stay in this ball game, looking for his 3rd save of the year for the Washington Wild Things. Last inning for the Lake Erie Crushers, Connor Oliver would ground out to start things. Jose Barraza then singled with 1 man out, and Eric Grabe hit a 2-run home run, his 3rd home run of the year over the left field wall. That cut the lead to 4-3 Wild Things over the Crushers. Next batter, Richard Siegel, would pop out, and that would be it for the reliever, Brian O'Keefe. Andrew Wick came on and struck out the only man he faced in the top of the 8th as he struck out Brendan Constantino to end the inning. Go up to face him here in inning number 9. Max Casper, Parker Norris, and Rob Poller, 8-9-1 for the Lake Erie Crushers. Andrew Wick looking for his first save since late May. 2 saves on the year for Andrew Wick. Was the closer to start the year, but was removed due to troubles. And just in case, Devin Davis is warming up in the bullpen as well. Davis picked up the save last night. Zach Groats not available today. Groats threw 6 shutout innings in Game 1 of yesterday's doubleheader, so he is not going to be available until at least Friday to reappear out of the Wild Things bullpen. So Andrew Wick warming up. And going to step in to face him here in the top of the 9th is the second baseman, Max Casper. Wick just finishing him with his warm-up tosses. Casper so far on the day, 1 for 3, hitting to a fielder's choice in the 2nd, hitting to a double play in the 4th, and hit a single in inning number 7. Nobody out top of the 9th. Wild Things looking for win number 35 on the season. Andrew Wick, the right-hander on the mound, facing off against the left-handed batter, Max Casper, and actually going to be a pinch hitter as infielder Nick Cavello will pinch hit for Max Casper. So Casper's night is done. Nick Cavello on in a pinch hitting situation here. Andrew Wick looking in. Wick has his sign. He's set. And the pitch to Cavello. And that one's low for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0 the count. Nick Cavello enters this one hitting 171, no home runs, and 2 RBIs. Day finished up for Casper. Casper ends up going 1 for 3 with a single. Wick has his sign. He's set. And the 1-0 offering. And Cavello takes this one low as well, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 the count here on the pinch hitter for the Lake Erie Crushers. Pinch hitting for Max Casper. 2 balls, no strikes, nobody out. Andrew Wick looking into Kyle Pollock. Wick shakes off the first sign, now has one he likes. He's set, and the 2 ball, no strike offering. And this ball popped up back behind the seats. That'll go foul, and the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count. Wick struck out the first man he faced on the top of the 8th inning. Now on the top of the 9th, looking for save number 3 on the season. Andrew Wick looks into Kyle Pollock. Wick going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set, and the 2 ball, 1 strike pitch. And this ball popped up. Shallow left field, Austin Wobrock going out for it. Wobrock will call everyone off, and he'll make the catch, and that's good for out number 1. 1 up, 1 down here in the top of the 9th for the Lake Erie Crushers. That'll bring to the plate the right fielder, Parker Norris. Norris so far 1 for 3, single in the third, struck out in the fifth, and flew out in inning number 7. Wick gets the first out here in the top of the ninth. Devin Davis still in that bullpen just in case for the Washington Wild Things, and just in case Lake Erie can score and extend this game. Chandler Jagodzinski warming up in the Lake Erie bullpen. Wick has his sign, he's set, and the pitch on the way. And that one's low and inside for a ball. Pollock blocking that one behind the plate, and the count goes to 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count here on Parker Norris, the right fielder for the Lake Erie Crushers. Andrew Wick looking in. Wick has his sign from Kyle Pollock. He's set, and the 1 ball no strike offering. And that one swung on a miss now by Parker Norris, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on the Lake Erie Crushers right fielder. Did not play in either game of the doubleheader last night for Lake Erie as he sat out. And Rob Pollard was out in right field. The 1-1 offering, and that one's outside for a ball. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. 2-1 the count here on Parker Norris. 1 man out this top of the 9th inning. 4-3 your Wild Things lead. Andrew Wick looking in. Wick going through the signs. Has one he likes. He's set. And the 2 ball, 1 strike pitch. And that one's high for a ball. Count now goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-1 the count. 1 man out. Lake Erie trying to get someone on here as every batter represents the tying run. Andrew Wick looks into Kyle Pollock. Wick has his sign. He's set. And the 3 ball, 1 strike offering. And a swing and a miss, and the count now goes full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Wick blowing a high fastball by Parker Norris there. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Rob Pollard, the on-deck man for the Lake Erie Crushers. Wick, the right-handed pitcher, facing off against Norris, the left-handed batter. Wick has his sign. He's set, and the 3 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this one's fouled back to the screen, so staying alive here is Parker Norris, and the count remains full at 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Manager Greg Langben on the top step of the Wild Things dugout right now, just in case a man reaches base. If he does, he would more than likely go to Devin Davis. Wick has his sign, he's set, and the 3 ball, 2 strike pitch. And this one fouled off by Parker Norris, so he's staying alive here against Andrew Wick with 1 man out. Count remains 3-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 man out. Wick looking for his 3rd save of the year. 2-1 his record on the year, 4.45 ERA. Coming today, that was good for 4th on the Wild Things team behind the tie of Colin Stanley and Devin Davis. Wick has his sign. He's set the 3-2 pitch, and that one's a called strike 3. Parker Norris strikes out, and that is out number 2 here in the top of the 9th. 2nd strikeout for Andrew Wick, and the Lake Erie Crushers down to their last chance as that'll bring up the left fielder, Rob Pollard. Pollard so far in the day, 0 for 4, popped out in the 1st, flew out in the 3rd, grounded out in the 5th, and grounded out in inning number 7. Andrew Wick looking for the last out of this ball game, top of the 9th. Wild Things lead 4-3 over the Lake Erie Crushers. Mike Marshall, coach for the Washington Wild Things, telling the Wild Things outfielders to move back as coming up is Rob Pollard. Wick has his sign. He's set. Here's the pitch. And this ball popped up. But on the infield, Kyle Pollock going out in front of home plate. Now to foul territory. And the ball will drop. Pollock and Ricky Rodriguez both looking for that one. Falls harmlessly in foul territory, however, and the count goes to no balls and a strike. Pollock lost that one at first in the lights, couldn't make the catch. Ricky Rodriguez tried to run in and tell him where that baseball was, but to no avail as it falls in. No balls and a strike to count on Rob Pollard. 0-1, 2 men out, top of the 9th. Wild Things looking for win number 35 on the season. Andrew Wick looking in to his catcher, Kyle Pollock. No balls, 1 strike, 2 men out. Wick still looking in as Pollard digging in. No balls and a strike. Wick has his sign. He's set. And the no ball, 1 strike offering. And Pollard takes this one way inside, jumping out of the way. Count goes even at 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 here on Rob Pollard. Pollard given new life as as Kyle Pollock couldn't find the baseball in the lights, and it fell in foul territory. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 men out. Andrew Wick looks in, has his sign. He's set. And the 1 ball, 1 strike offering. And this one ground to the right side. Bobbles on Uxa. He recovers. Throw to first. And it's in time. You can put in the books your Wild Things win. Final score. Wild Things 4. Lake Erie Crushers 3. Winning pitcher tonight is Matt Snyder. He improves to 1-0. The loser, Mike Devine. Devine falls to 7-6 on the year. The save goes to Andrew Wick. Wick's third save of the 2016 season. Keep it right here on the MSA Sports Network. We'll be right back with the Washington Wild Things postgame show here on Washington Wild Things Baseball on the MSA Sports Network.
How does a 120-year-old company like Henderson Brothers keep up in a world that changes every minute, that keeps throwing curveballs, that flaunts new technology, that demands responsiveness? The answer is simple. With expertise. We insure the most successful corporations in the area, and they in turn recommend us. And for that, we're grateful. Henderson Brothers. Expect an expert.
We're back here on the MSA Sports Network's coverage of Washington Wild Things baseball. Final score in this one, your Washington Wild Things win 4-3 over the Lake Erie Crushers. The winning pitcher, Matt Snyder, improves to 1-0. The loser, Mike Devine, falls to 7-6 on the year. The save goes to Andrew Wick. It's Wick's third save of the 2016 season. Scoring recap in this one for you. The Wild Things took the early lead in this one. Bottom half of the third, Austin Warbrock flew out to start things. Then Andrew Heck would double with one man out. There was a runner at second for the Wild Things. Chris Grayson would fly out, two outs and still a man on second, before Ricky Rodriguez came through with an RBI single. Heck came around to score from second, and the Wild Things took a 1-0 lead. One batter later, Dave Popkins stepped in, and he crushed his 11th home run of the year over the left field wall. A 2-run shot, and the Wild Things took a 3-0 lead over the Lake Erie Crushers. Jimmy Yeza would then single before Kyle Pollock popped out to end the inning. Lake Erie got on the board in the top of the fourth. Eric Grabe walked to lead things off. Then Richard Siegel would single to put runners at first and second with nobody out. A sacrifice bunt by Brendan Constantino moved those runners to second and third with one man out, before a wild pitch brought Eric Grabe in. That made the score 3-1 Washington Wild Things. Next batter, Max Casper, flew out to right field. Dave Popkins made the catch and gunned home to get the final out of the inning, throwing out Richard Siegel at the plate. It was a fly out and a 9-2 put out to end that inning. So it was 3-1 after 4 innings of play. Washington Wild Things getting back on the board. In the bottom of the 6th, Logan Uxa walked to lead things off. Jamadrick Magruder had a sacrifice bunt to move him to second, so there's a runner at second, one man out. Austin Warbrock would then ground out before Andrew Heck came through with an RBI single. Uxa came around to score, and the Wild Things took a 4-1 lead. Chris Grayson would fly out to end the inning. And coming in on the board in the top of the 8th with the Lake Erie Crushers next, down 4-1. Connor Oliver grounded out to start the inning. Then Jose Barraza singled with one man out, runner at first, one out, before Eric Grabe came in and hit a 2-run home run that brought home him and Barraza. That made the score 4-3 Wild Things. Then Richard Siegel would pop out. Brian O'Keefe's night would be done. O'Keefe was the third pitcher used on the night by the Wild Things. Matt Snyder going 5 1/3 in his first Wild Things start, gave up 1 run. It was earned on 5 hits, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts for Matt Snyder on the night. Colin Stanley then came in through 1 2/3 scoreless innings, giving up 2 hits and striking out 3 on the night before O'Keefe ended his day. Andrew Wick came in to get the final out of that inning, striking out Brendan Constantino to get through things. O'Keefe went 2/3, gave up 2 runs, both earned on 2 hits. Did not walk a batter and did not strike anybody out in the contest. Then to the top of the 9th, Andrew Wick looking for his first save since late May. Got Nick Cavello, the pinch hitter, to pop out. Then Parker Norris struck out, and Rob Pollard grounded out to end the inning. Wick went an inning in the 3rd, did not give up a run nor a hit, walked 1 and struck out 2 in the ball game. That led to your final score: Wild Things 4 and the Lake Erie Crushers 3. Winning pitcher on the night, Matt Snyder, improves to 1-0. The loser, Mike Devine, falling to 7-6, and the save going to Andrew Wick. Wick's 3rd save of the season. Your Washington Wild Things player of the game on this night is going to go to Andrew Heck. Heck finishes the night 2 for 5 with a double, a single, also drove in a run, reached on an error, and struck out twice in the ballgame. Andrew Heck, your Washington Wild Things player of the game, added the insurance in the bottom half of the 6th. 4-3 the final score between your Wild Things and the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things take the first 3 games here in this rain-aided 4-game series, and will look for a 4-game sweep tomorrow night. 7:05 first pitch, as Matt Frauden taking the hill for your Washington Wild Things. He will be opposed by Juan Caballero for the Lake Erie Crushers. Wild Things improved to 7-1 on the year against the Lake Erie Crushers, picking up the win here tonight. So thanks for listening to Washington Wild Things Baseball tonight. Tune in tomorrow, 7:05 first pitch, Game 4 of this rain-aided 4-game series. Tonight, however, your Wild Things win 4-3. Thanks for listening, and have a good night, everybody.
MSA Sports. Press 1 to resume, or 3 to end broadcast. Your broadcast has been ended.